Merch. Guys, I love how we're doing our merch chant and none of us are wearing it.
Well, but that's because it's made to order.
It's made to order for the environment.
So
hip, hip, hooray.
we don't want to waste that fashion. So it's made to order. It comes to your door in a couple of weeks. It takes a minute, but the merch is so special and sweet.
Guys, I love the designs.
It's so good.
This, I think, is like, I've said it before, I think this is my favorite merch out of everything we made.
It has Grailed written all over it. You guys can buy this and then resell it for way more.
Oh, yeah.
Grailed?
That's like where you sell like designer pieces, resell designer pieces.
Yeah.
You don't want to miss this train,
It's
guys.
a vintage.
Guys,
It's going to be a vintage.
It's limited.
I really do love this merch, though. I feel like it's timeless. I feel like it's so cute. It says Chatty Broads forever. Also, all the other merch, Chatty Bros, sorry guys, some of your Chatty Bros merch is on sale. Yeah. All of our posters, if you guys go on the website and check out our posters, all of our posters are on sale with some classic photo shoots.
Look, it's your last. It's your last chance to get a Chatty Bros thong, and I
that
think
is for real. He's not joking.
For real.
They're super sick.
They're super sick. If you care to impress, it's right there for you.
If you want to impress whoever it is that's special to you in your life, I don't care who you are, but you could just strap one of those on. Wear it to a job interview.
I will say,
for a little extra boost of confidence.
But just the idea of like, this is it. I can't wait to get one and like be like, we got our Chatty Broads forever vibe. I got my thong on underneath my sweatpants.
And if you guys buy, if you guys spend $1,000, if you guys spend $1,000 on our merch site, you're gonna get a pic of Evan in the thong.
You'll get a pic. If you spend $1,000, you can get a pic of Evan in the "I'm a hoe for Chatty Bros" shirt.
Listen, I will say this. I guarantee you, if you spend $1,000, I will send you a personalized pic signed by me in the thong. No questions asked. Send me the receipt.
I'm going to be looking at the Shopify. I'm going to be checking for $1,000 orders. You better believe. I will be sending you the address.
That. You can get like a personalized.
I'm super nervous.
You're going to get a worn thong from Gray in the mail. That's what you're actually going to get.
You are. Stinky.
Oh my god. Yes, okay.
I'll wear it around. I'll work out it and then send it out to you. But I really don't understand. I am a little disappointed that our merch is on sale because it was so
You guys should have sold better, okay? You should have promoted better.
Honestly, the I'm a hoe for Chatty Bros shirt is so hard, and I cannot believe that we even have them.
But we love it.
Well, yeah, Evan and I talk about artists. Look, I think there's a big problem in the world of what we were saying of artists.
Welcome to the gray area premiering this fall.
Doing things for the fame rather than the art. And Evan and I's merch is a perfect example of we weren't doing it to sell it. We were doing it because that's what spoke to Evan and I.
Right.
And creating rhinestone thongs and I'm a hoe for Chatty Bros shirts is the merch we wanted to produce, and we did it.
Someone buy the thong. Someone buy the thong. Please. So I can send you a picture of me in the thong.
I don't know where I'm going to put this in the episode.
Merch.
Do I put it at the top, at the bottom? Merch. Check out the merch, broads.
And welcome to another episode of Chatty Broads with Becca and Jess.
Well, hello there, broads. It is me and Evan coming at you live from Ember's bed in my mom's house. So if you're watching on the YouTube and it looks a little different, this is not going to be our new setup over here.
No, Ember's bed at my mother-in-law's house is not our new studio.
Surprisingly, it's not our new studio, but it sure is comfy and cozy. Also, if we look a little sleepy up in here, we did have numerous birthdays for our child this weekend, which was so much fun, but we definitely have kind of the tired parent energy.
We did like 17 birthdays.
We did.
Because of all the different family members. So it's like...
It was Ember worship.
It was an insane time.
And she deserved every second
and
of it.
She knows it.
Our absolute queen. Anywho, so we might be a little tired, but also extremely excited before we dive into this chaotic, wild, exciting, weird, vulnerable, wonderful last date night episode, we are excited to chat with you all for a moment about our new podcast coming out.
Oh my God.
Can you believe? Are you ready to do a podcast with me? Like, for real,
excited.
for real. Are you ready to do a podcast with me?
I am so ready.
Are you ready to fall in love with me even more?
Listen, you give me that big ring. You get on one knee, baby, I'll do anything for you, okay?
I'll get you a big ring, but just prepare yourself to fall in love with me even more somehow, if that's possible.
Impossible, babe.
Oh my gosh, too mushy already.
Let's go. Get out of here.
But Broads, I know that I said last week that this next week, this following week, we'd be giving the official launch date announcement, the name of the podcast, the cover art, and that's coming next week.
Yep.
We have to, you got to tease it,
Yeah, no,
extend
you
it a
don't.
little
We can't
bit.
just be like, "Yo, here's everything at once." We got to keep you, on the line.
We're trying
we got
to
to tease it
massage
out one little bit at a time. Stay tuned, baby.
Yeah, just keep the enjoyment going and going. So that'll come officially next week, but we can tell you today that our first episode will be released the first week in January.
Give you some time to go through the holidays, eat all the food, digest the food, chill, and then come back fresh top of the year.
With a bang. And honestly, ABC, obviously with their lengthening of certain things and episodes and elongating of everything, we had to rearrange the date a bit, but we are so excited to enjoy some holidays with our little one, but also be creative geniuses, not to toot our own horns, creative geniuses in the meantime preparing, because we've been prepping. We've got guests booked. We've got some fun stuff coming up.
We have awesome guest book. We have awesome ideas. We have awesome segments. We're kind of approaching this with some totally new, fresh ideas, some stuff we've never done before.
Yeah, obviously we're going to be doing, like we said, the reality TV recaps.
Yeah.
We will be covering The Bachelor and other reality TV shows as we go. But we also are going to be doing some relationship advice and some really fun segments that I think, mixing it up a little bit, taking some risks in 2023. 2023 is the year of the risk.
Maybe let's table again, this is about the ideas, putting them out there. Let's table it, babe. Let's table it.
I guess you never know. You can tune in to find out officially the first week in January. But we will be giving you all sorts of updates. In the meantime, don't worry, we will still be around in certain ways. We'll be letting you know all about that next week. But again, next week, official launch date, but first week in January, baby. I'm so excited. I'm ready to hit this with a bang.
We're going to hit it hard, you guys. And I think it's going to be really fun. I think that's what I'm excited for. It's just going to be good times, and it's going to be totally fresh and new. I'm excited.
I'm excited to have this. I love you too. I'm excited to have this new adventure with you and with all of you broads. If you are down to join us, we would love to have you join our family.
Oh, cute.
Cute.
I love that.
Little tagline there.
Welcome
I don't
to
know.
the fam.
Welcome to the fam, broads.
That.
But we'll be keeping you updated. We love you all so much. And let's get into this chaotic, exciting final date night episode.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna have to ask, what are you sipping on? Look at this glass. Look at how red this is. What is this?
Is
this girls'
drink?
night out?
What is your favorite drink?
He's no longer.
This is a date night.
What's
This
that?
is girls' night out.
No, what's that TikTok where it's like, what is your favorite drink?
Oh, no,
Tagliatelle, da-da-da-da.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Aperol, Spritz.
What's your favorite drink?
It was off a.
I didn't even know what those words are.
They sound so fancy.
What's your drink of choice?
Yeah. It's like,
Spagliato.
yes, Spagliato.
Oh, we did that.
With Prosecco.
Yeah. That's what this is.
No, Spagliato. And then I don't know what the second thing is she says. I don't even know these were real things.
I think it was with Prosecco.
Spagliato.
Yeah,
No, and then
with
the last is
Prosecco.
with Prosecco on it. That's a very ending thing.
Yeah. That's what this is.
It was so good.
Really?
No. This is,
Spagliato? What is? Do you guys know what
this is
Spagliato is?
vodka cran.
Magliato?
It's vodka and cranberry juice.
Vodka. $90.
Evan and I have been watching this.
That's what this hilarious thing that is. Like, guy goes, $90. The guy goes, that'll be $90. Like, $90. Like a super Jersey guy.
What is this on? What are you talking about?
$90. Yeah, but you're laughing, so I'm getting it. Let's go.
I love videos
You know
like
what
that.
I love is like the little thing like that. Like, every once in a while you're watching a movie, especially when you're with someone else, and something like that happens, and you look at each other and you're like, rewind immediately. Oh, what a wonderful moment. What is that from?
It's just random video of this like funny video I saw of this guy, like the clerk's like, it'll be $94, and this guy's like, $90. He's like, what the fuck, inflation? And he's just like this super Jersey guy. Killed me. I was like urinating.
You've been trying to say something.
No, I was saying that with Evan's drink, vodka cran.
Vodka.
We've been watching this show called Drink Masters on Netflix. Highly recommend. So it's just like all these really amazing
I won't be watching,
mixologists.
thank you.
and we've been addicted to it. And Evan, the things that they have to create in 90 minutes, you're like, this isn't a drink. They're also
just drinks.
But they're also then preparing like a whole. It's like, yeah, but you have to pair like a deconstruction like with it. So there's some sort of like food that's like they're making like with dry ice, these like caviar ball. I mean, like it's crazy.
What's a deconstruction?
It's basically like a show that's like MasterChef, but for cocktails.
But
and
it's
so
like
what we
next
think of like,
level.
they're like making an amazing drink, and they're like, oh, I'm sauteing mushrooms because I want to do a mushroom infused whatever with the, and you're just like,
It's wild.
what is happening?
It's
like,
pretty incredible. But Evan just keeps talking while we're watching it. He's like, I want to go on the show and present the drink and be like, it's an orange vod juice. It's an original of mine. And they're just like, you mean a screw?
No, you can be like, this is a citrus blend. We have a citrus essence here paired with a potato distillation.
Yeah. Triple distilled.
Triple distilled.
from Russia.
From a potato
You mean
ferment?
Grey Goose? Well, you could call it that. What?
You met my buddy.
Yeah,
Alec.
of course. He's hilarious.
Was he like in France right now? He's just like doesn't have a job.
He's a
and
man.
traveling
He's
everywhere.
a man of the world now. He's a global citizen.
He's just like playing tennis in Mexico.
Yeah, his
last time you
address
talked
is
to
now
him.
just Earth. But he and I have always had a skit idea where his grandfather only drank red wine and Coca-Cola.
Oh, that's a very
wild.
That's
the drink
what do you call that?
Calimocho.
No, you call that.
In Spain, it's Calimocho.
No, Calimocho's with squirt. Red wine and squirt.
Whoa, that's a wild combo.
White wine and squirt.
Oh.
But I don't think they call that
That sounds kind of
Calimocho.
bomb, right?
I know. I'm like,
It's
I
not
want
bad.
one right now.
It's not bad.
It just sounds
But-
literally like the worst morning of your life.
7-Up.
Red wine and Coca-Cola is pretty good.
Apple juice and white wine is a thing too. But
It's just wine before it's wine.
right. But
with wine.
we've always had the skit idea to go to like a really fancy, like high-end wine tasting, like the ones that are like really expensive to go to, it's like $600 wine tasting. So every bottle you open is like
Yeah, it's high end.
high-end.
Yeah, just the nicest
And
of
just
stuff.
be like, oh, okay. And just crack a can of Coke. Just be like, and then just
Top
be
it
like,
off.
yeah, it's pretty good. And just have people around you be like, you want some? Like, it's better.
Can I get some ice?
It's honestly, it just be like, it's honestly better this way. You should try it. This hits.
And it'd be great if at the end of it you spit it out. Because you're like, that's what you do. Yeah, you go, oh, we're pretty good. Bing. And they're like, what? And you're like, well, you don't want to drink it because it'll ruin the palate if I'm drunk.
Yeah.
And they're just like,
But yeah, just do that. Just like this one is white cowboy hat.
Oh my god.
they'll
like
go
that.
open a business suit. So it's like very officially like, I love, do you have Coke
Suit.
Zero?
Wait, so
Diet, actually.
you were a screwdriver, so have you switched to cranberry lately?
Well, yeah, I just,
Vodka
this is vodka cran. This is like a straight up Boston
Well, I know,
drink right
but
here, but
have
in
you
a very
have you
pretty
like
glass.
made a transition? A life transition?
I go through mixer, periods. So it's like sometimes it's orange juice. I burn that out.
Evan is truly a man of mystery. I really never know. Like if we were to go to a bar tomorrow and he wasn't there yet and he's like, order my drink, I'd be like, I don't know. Like,
I don't know what
it's
to order
always
at bars
different.
anymore.
I'm generally a vodka tonic guy. Like that's always my go-to, and then everything
I
else
would
is
have
a mystery.
never
I
ever
get so-
known that. I've never seen you order a vodka tonic once in my life.
Sorry, gin and tonic.
Oh, gin and
Sorry,
tonic. I'm
sorry.
like,
I
okay.
usually go-
G&T.
I always
G&T.
go gin and tonic because they don't stain.
Oh, smart.
Stain like your teeth?
No, just your clothes.
Oh, if you spill.
Once Grayson's getting his arm motions
I
a
do
little
like
too out
that
of
you
control.
order things based on the idea of how bad will it be if I stain myself.
I'm a tequila soda person with lime.
I stain myself a lot.
Big stain.
But I don't know, bitters. I mean, I don't really drink, so I've just been doing soda water and bitters and lime, which is kind of depressing, but you know.
Very light.
I'm better than all of you because I eliminated
and
alcohol.
Your life is boring.
Yeah, well, no, I just have enough spirit that I don't need spirits.
I'm high on life, baby.
I'm high on the most high.
The Holy Spirit, baby.
Oh, that's a great name for like a alcoholic company.
What?
Holy Spirit.
Holy Spirit.
That actually is pretty good. How about Holy Spirits?
Trademarked here.
Love that.
Would you do Holy Spirit or would you do Holy Spirits?
Holy Spirits.
Holy Spirit.
I mean, are we talking
Holy
one?
Spirit
No, like you're
harder.
making the brand right now.
Holy
you have
Spirits
to decide.
is the brand.
Yeah.
But I feel like Holy Spirit is the flagship product.
Okay,
I think I like it Spirit singular better as well.
I like spirits.
If Holy
It's a play on
Spirit
words.
is or Spirits is the overall like
Like
brand.
when you see the bottle in the store, is it Holy Spirits or Holy Spirit?
See, I was picturing it being like, you know, like one of many. So it's like
Okay.
Holy Spirits presents.
Vodka.
And if
so
we're
it's the
doing
company name.
red wine, I'd
Yes.
call it like Reverend,
Ooh, this is really
right?
good,
Like
actually.
a gorgeous red.
Or you could call it Jesus's blood.
Or you could
Blood
just
of the Lamb.
You could call it communion. Oh man, that would get people. That's edgy.
Oh, that is edgy.
No, actually, this isn't that edgy.
Actually, having a wine company called Communion is pretty good.
Pretty good.
It is really good. You would get
that's kind
people
of-
would be really mad.
But it's also kind of sexy because it's
That's
like
why I
it's
wanted-
about like communion with others,
That's
right?
why I wanted
so
to
it's
do
kind of
spirits
True.
because it's more blasphemous.
Holy Spirits.
Yeah.
It
like
is.
I like this
Three
guy.
and then you can kind of get like
is this what we're doing
3-in-1 is a
post
mixed
Chatty
drink.
Broads? We're like we end Chatty Broads and then we start
you
a
could
full
call it,
alcohol
one is like
brand.
the Trinity.
My
and it's
last-
like it's like a mixed drink.
It's
mixed
the
drink.
Trinity, just like menage a trois. You know, it's the tri blend.
It's
Red
a Long
blend,
Island
yeah.
ice. It's a Long Island iced tea maker. So it's just vodka, whiskey, and what's in the Long Island iced tea?
I feel like just everything's in a Long Island.
And
iced
then
tea.
the Holy
that's a good
Trinity
idea.
is just alcohol mixed.
There
It's
you
just
go.
a fifth of like alcohol.
And it's just
rubbing alcohol.
Like it's so gross. No one's ever done that. Being like, so this is
this is not the mixer.
This is a Long Island.
I'm lost.
This is a Long Island iced tea
What is
without
happening?
the iced tea. This is just the three alcohols mixed together.
Is
Pre-mixed
it even
Long
legal?
Island iced tea.
It's just
It's
disgusting.
illegal in 48 states.
Okay, broads, quick pause from this date night extravaganza because I want to talk to you about truff. Oh my God. Okay. Quick thing, one of my life hacks to make it feel like I'm actually living a life of leisure and luxury is to elevate everyday experiences. Because if you see me at 7 a.m. on a Monday morning running around making Ember's lunch, hair in a crazy bun, dog running around trying to find my phone to turn off the alarm that's been going off for 5 minutes straight, you know the life isn't either of those things, okay? Most of the time. But when I find those moments throughout the day that I can elevate, I suddenly feel like I'm living that life, you know? Even when it's 2 p.m. and I still haven't had the time to change out of my pajamas. One easy way to elevate your meals, and honestly your life and your snacks, is with Truff's line of luxury pantry supplies.
Jess and I are so obsessed with Truff. You probably know them from their line of hot sauces. That's also what we talk about all the time. But Truff is so much more than that. They have pasta sauces, mayo, truffle oil, and their newest addition, truffle salt. I cannot live without it. Each and every product is infused with 100% real black winter truffle or white truffle. There is no synthetic or artificial flavoring ever. It is all the real deal with Truff. And whatever Truff product you use, you're going to add dimension and flavor to even the most simple dishes. You guys, there's a reason we freak out every time we talk about Truff. They've got over 10,000 positive customer reviews. That kind of speaks for itself. And believe us, Truff will become a staple of your kitchen. I always have it stocked in my fridge, ready to go.
And with the holidays coming up, Truff has a whole offering of pre-packaged gift sets that make for great host gifts or gifts for those people in your life that honestly just appreciate luxury, okay? How amazing. These pre-packaged gift sets are so gorgeous. They are such a fun gift idea to give to people. Like I've said before, I have given Truff to numerous family members, numerous friends. They all loved it as a holiday gift. And you know that Becca and I, and Evan, and Grayston are obsessed with Truff. calling it delicious is the biggest understatement ever. It is the best thing that has ever touched my lips, okay? I want it lathered on everything. So it's a good gift idea.
Get 15% off site-wide with promo code chatty at truff.com. By the way, the packaging, like the boxes and everything, are so nice. They honestly make a great gift. I was actually shocked at how lovely the packaging was. 15% off everything at Truff, Truff, F as in fire, truff.com, promo code chatty.
So is it just me, or does getting ready for holiday festivities feel like prepping for like another event in itself? Like whether you're in charge of baking the desserts for a holiday dinner, or you're entrusted with the Christmas ham at your in-laws, or God forbid, you're the host, okay? I want to know, how are you preparing for the big day? I mean, obviously you're going to be doing some or probably a lot of grocery shopping, right? Why not make things easier on yourself this year and call in the reinforcements? And yes, I'm talking about Thrive Market.
Thrive Market helps you eliminate those unnecessary trips to the grocery store, which during the holidays, it is the last thing anybody has time for. I was recently visiting my family and I had to run out to the grocery store for something, and the holiday lines were atrocious. At Thrive, you're going to find everything you need, from healthy pantry essentials to sustainable meat and seafood. They even have organic wines. Everything is delivered right to your door. Just load up your cart with everything you need, check out, you can get on with your day. And as a Thrive Market member, you get 30% off everything you find on the site, and they even have a price match guarantee.
So I am actually in charge of making 2 pies this year, and I have 2 family members who are gluten-free and dairy-free, and I want to make sure to make a pie that's also gluten-free and dairy-free so that they can have it. I thought it was going to be super challenging to do this. Well, not with Thrive. I was easily able to find the ingredients I needed, and also I saved a bunch of money. That's my most favorite thing with Thrive. You're saving money and the ease of it. They are truly incredible. Also, my favorite place to get Ember delicious snacks. Love Thrive. Use it pretty much on a weekly basis.
Get convenient, high-quality, affordable groceries delivered with Thrive Market. Join Thrive Market today and get 30% off your first order plus a free $60 gift. That's THRIVE market.com/chatty for 30% off your first order plus a free $60 gift. THRIVE market.com/chatty. Thrivemarket.com/chatty. What did you guys drink in college? Because I remember one of the first things that I thought was so cool is, do you guys remember flavored Bacardi?
Oh,
I would get berry Bacardi with cranberry juice.
Oh.
And that was like cranberry juice and Sprite.
Right.
That's what we would do. Berry Bacardi, Sprite, and cranberry juice.
Do you remember what your first drink was ever?
Shit, I don't know.
So have you
Ever?
Do you know the
Ever.
Four
I
Horsemen?
don't remember when the first time was that I drank.
Do you remember
Let's
what
not
your
have two
first
combos.
legal drink was?
Yeah, I had like a glass of wine at dinner with my parents.
Are we recording right now?
Yes.
We're in it. We're in
Yeah,
the
we're
middle
in
of
it.
it.
Too late.
We're in the
Yeah.
pod.
Hey, but
Okay, so
Bronze, we gotta start.
only one conversation at a time
Welcome to our final date night.
then. Welcome. Welcome to Chatty Bros. Evan and I have 2 guests
Featuring.
tonight.
Here we are.
She didn't like that. Stop.
Wait,
We have some
the Chatty Bros and their hosts.
upstart podcast hosts that need some clout, so they came on ours.
They're just
Need
looking
some
for
tips.
a bump.
Wait, I want to know this question though. The answer to this question. When did you guys what was your first drink? Do you remember when you first drank? I don't remember.
What about first legal drink?
At a
That might
bar?
be
First
less-
legal drink,
First
yeah.
legal drink.
I had a glass of wine with my parents at a restaurant.
nice.
Jack and
I
Coke.
I could not remember.
No, rum and Coke. Captain and Coke. That was it. Captain and Coke. That was
God.
like my go-to because I
I'm
didn't
so
know.
traumatized by Captain Morgan.
I didn't know what it was. I just thought that's what you get. I remember Captain and Coke was like a thing people got, so I got it.
I have no idea.
No idea your first legal?
No, but I wanted to go back to this thing of the drinks that we were making, because anyway, whatever.
I went through a whiskey pickleback phase. Are you guys ever
Whiskey
into
picklebacks
that?
are great.
Pretty bomb. But what I used to specifically do is Irish whiskey. So like Jameson with a pickleback. That's actually pretty good. It keeps you hydrated too.
That sounds like such a sexy drink to
Whiskey
me.
pickleback?
Yeah, I definitely could never handle that. That's me puking after one.
Well, you just do a shot and you take the what?
Pickle juice.
You never done it?
I'd be throwing
Well, yeah, you
up.
don't do.
Have you ever
liquor.
done a
You take a shot
sidecar?
of whiskey and then you take a shot of pickle juice after.
good.
It is good.
It's really good. Pickle juice is amazing. I've been buying pickles lately because I've been making
Do you get
burgers
the
at home.
bubbies?
I don't know what that is.
Bubby's pickles are
I gotta check it out. Okay, I've been
superior.
getting into pickles.
Yeah.
So
These are really good.
I've been getting pickles, and Ember has been eating pickles with me.
She's
and then
been a
I've been like,
pickle queen.
So
I've been like,
good.
you pull a pickle out, and you kind of have a choice to like, or do I like? And that's like I've just been eating it
my
straight
mouth
out.
is watering.
And I'm like, dude, the pickle juice. What is it about that that's so
It's salty.
intoxicating? It's so good.
Get Bubbies. They're refrigerated.
Bubbies. Okay.
They're refrigerated and they are so good. And the juice is incredible.
Okay.
Incredible.
Do you know the sidecar?
Yes.
When you order a pint and you get the shot on the side?
Yes.
And then there's, in college, we found out that there is a thing of if you order alcohol, like a shot, they're supposed to supply you a chaser if you want. And one of your chasers can be beer.
Shut up. Really?
Yeah. So you don't get a full pint, but they give you a tumbler of beer. Because they have to
For free?
If you order a drink, like you order like, oh, I'm just gonna get straight like a double shot of this, you can ask for like, oh, and can I get like a
PBR
Coke on the side? And you can be like, can I have a chaser of this? And it's like a thing where like they give that to you.
My first legal
Zoa's the
drink
move.
was this is so embarrassing.
Did you have like one of those fish boats?
No, my first legal drink
Sharkies.
was a blowjob shot.
What is
I don't know
that?
what that is.
I thought you were going to end with blowjob, and I was like, babe,
My first legal drink
not
was a
drink.
blowjob.
Just you're on the wrong conversation now. This is weird.
It's not what we were.
He was really drunk.
His first drink was a blowjob from me. You're like, babe, sorry.
Is that one of those like little pink mixed?
Yeah, what
like,
is that?
What
That's
are those,
like-
No,
what
so
are those
it's-
drinks called? When they're like
Adios, motherfucker. Or
No,
something?
no.
Oh,
but
like shots
the
that
type
have
of
like
balls?
I like
Yes.
those shots. Yeah, they're like, but they have like juice in them.
That's so funny. I've only ever had those on my 21st birthday.
I enjoy those
What
because
are
I
they
can't.
called?
I don't remember what
Okay,
they're called.
continue.
But no, the blowjob shot is, I forget what the actual alcohol in it is, but it's tasty, like chocolatey, and then they squirt whipped cream at the top. So it's coming out of it, and you're not supposed to drink it with your hands. You're supposed to put your hands behind your
Oh
back
my God.
and throw it back. I didn't know any of this. I was like
Amaretto, Irish
sipping
cream,
on
and
it.
whipped cream.
Sipping. You're like, pretty good. Just pure like it's just pure like juice.
All of my nerdy like super Christian
chocolate.
Can I get a spoon?
I'm like, oh my God. Just tapping the spoon on the end. No, all of my nerdy Christian friends were like, we're in a bar, like get her the blowjob shot.
Yeah.
And I'm just
Yeah.
like, this is crazy. I'm just
I like this.
fine spirit.
And then you get to the icky part, and you're like, ooh, I don't like the rest of that.
I just have the whipped cream and I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah, whipped cream and a
fine.
cherry.
That's driving me nuts, though. I can't remember what those things are called. Like they're like mini cocktails. You guys don't know what we're talking about?
Like a flight?
No, it's like instead of having a shot,
They're in there.
you have like there's juice in
They're
it.
very
too.
like they're always like pink and like fruity. What are mini
So
cocktails
there's a
called?
name for these shots.
Yes.
It's not like that's not the name of the drink.
So
it's not like-
it's a
it's-
category.
yeah. Yes, it's a category.
It's not a pure shot. You basically have a mixer in, but it is like a shot.
It's like
glass,
saying-
essentially.
Well,
It's what I always
It's
do still now.
spagliatelli.
Spagliato with prosecco.
Spagliato.
Spagliato, yeah.
I keep saying tagliatelle like it's fucking pasta.
When
Linguine with Alfredo.
Fettuccine.
I always thought at first I thought it was
Bolognese.
At first, I thought it was The Sims. Like I thought it was Sims language, like spagliato. To me, that sounds like The Sims. You know? You know what I'm talking about? They'd be like spagliato as I'm spinning around in the kitchen inside your thing. Okay, I found the sound. You guys want to hear it? Let's
Yes.
listen.
Oh my gosh, please.
Your drink of choice. A Negroni.
Oh, Negroni.
Spagliato. With Prosecco in it. Oh, stunning. Yeah.
So a
Dude, her voice
Negroni.
is in.
I know.
know.
Don't you want to just
is that
go
person?
to bed?
I think it's an actress from a movie. I think she's in an interview.
Oh,
I think that's
really?
the thing. Is that it's a clip from an interview.
The broads are going to be screaming right now because I'm probably wrong, but I feel like it's someone from like House of Dragons. Or
It
one,
is.
Okay.
It is. It
Oh,
is.
wow. I don't even
That
watch.
was insane.
What's in a Negroni? What's in a Negroni?
I don't know, but had them. They're very good. I think they're very bitter.
Yes, they are. Vermouth,
Negroni.
Campari. What the hell is spagliato?
I don't know. It sounds incredible though. I'd
does
love to
sound
try one.
It does sound.
We should go to a bar and order that. I'll have a Negroni spagliato with Prosecco in it.
But
How
do it
many
like
bartenders do you think are getting all
it's
this time
not
just getting blown up? They're like, geez, man, just Spagliato with Prosecco in it.
Wait, so
could you please split the tab
Spagliato is an
between me and my
Italian
friend?
word that means wrong or mistaken.
Go to like a dive.
You're like, I can't afford it, so
Like
can you
a
split
bar,
the tab?
like a bar that has its lights on.
Oh, I
You
get
ever
it.
been in
Okay.
those?
Guys, Spagliato means a mistake.
I just killed Jess,
So-
by the way.
I wasn't even paying attention. Sorry, guys.
Sorry, he said Spagliato going up to the bartender. Spagliato with Prosecco in it. And Evan goes, can you split the tab between me and my friend? Just one drink.
I can't afford it. It's like you're acting like you're this bougie person. Can you please split it?
It's like the 21-year-olds have been watching TikTok. Like, can you cut this between me and my four friends?
We'll be leaving after this single drink. Thank you.
Wait, do you guys want to know what it is?
Please.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's actually a Spagliato Negroni. So Spagliato means mistaken or wrong. So it's a Negroni that has sparkling wine in it instead of gin. So that's why he
That
said with
sounds
Prosecco.
delicious.
So it's Prosecco replacing gin in the Negroni.
Oh, that sounds so good. That I can have.
Yeah, I would have liked if
Yeah,
they
because
added it
I
on
thought
top.
I was like, wow, you're adding Prosecco to the drink? I was like, that's going to knock you off your feet. When I kept hearing that, I was like, that sounds like a lot of booze
So it's
in
a
one
type
drink.
of Negroni.
It's a type of
A spin-off
Negroni,
of Negroni
that has Prosecco. It's Prosecco. That does sound bomb. Prosecco Vermouth Campari Club Soda.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna order that next bar we go to, 100%, or next restaurant.
Yeah, so you say Negroni Spagliato or Spagliato Negroni.
I'm gonna say it with the voice, and
Spagliato.
the server is just gonna be like, just trying not to be
Yeah,
like, walk away.
okay.
Just
Sure,
so
lady.
over it.
Haven't heard that one yet.
Yeah.
Oh, my. So anyway, how goes it, everyone? You believe all the time we... Why have we sang this so many times on the show before actually ending the show?
It was actually kind of weird that I think it's every time a Bachelor season ends.
Oh, okay.
We, like,
wrap
do,
it.
like, an
All the
emotional
time.
ending.
We still don't ever. I don't know any of the actual
Neither do
lyrics.
I just go along with you.
you. Friends forever. Yeah.
This
So
is-
embarrassing.
I know the song, like I've heard it, but I don't really know what it is. Like, is that
It's like a graduation song. It's
okay?
the kind of song they play.
Do you
at
want to hear
graduation.
something really embarrassing? For my gradu? Oh my God.
Who
I feel like we've
sings it?
talked about this before.
It's not.
I think
Is it
I
vitamin
have.
C?
I probably said this on the podcast before, but for my graduation, oh God, it makes my whole body hurt thinking about it. I volunteered to sing at my graduation, and I chose the song, and I cried during it while I sang.
What song was it?
It was a Brian
You don't know about this.
You were there.
Was
You
I
were in the
there?
audience.
I don't remember this at
Yes,
all.
you were. You probably
You
blacked it out because you're
blacked
like,
it
we're
out,
not dating.
yeah.
We're not dating. We're not
don't
dating.
know
We're not
her.
dating.
I was like,
don't know her, I don't
everything is
know her.
good except this. So I just need to like delete it.
I was like, shoot, we're doing so well.
You're just
And
like Evans in the audience, just like
Profusely drinking. I'm just like Spagliato.
vomiting. You're just vomiting and you totally blacked out.
I don't know what was
What song?
wrong. It was like, I think like my friends really psyched me up because I was kind of one of the few people who could sing, and it's a small school, so they were like, you gotta sing. I'm like, okay. And then they gave me some suggestions, and I was like, no, it's not emotional enough.
Oh, what song?
What
Do
are
you
the
remember?
lyrics to this song?
It was,
You
hold
can't
on.
play the song. We're gonna get
As
flagged
Something.
It was just
on
like
YouTube. You just sing it for us again.
Flagged.
We'll get our YouTube video will get demonetized if we play copyrighted music.
Well,
You didn't know that?
probably especially if you play one of those because that artist really wants their.
They really
They
want
want
to
Yeah,
their
Ryan
residuals.
Cabrera's like, please, for the love of God, someone.
But it's like a bot. Like it'll fly. Like any video where it like recognizes
Yeah.
the song will get demonetized.
hate bots.
I hate bots.
It's
$90.
I was just thinking of you like drunk at the high school graduation, and you're just in the audience being like vodka.
everyone.
Hey, do you want one? It's vodka. I made it.
You got the lyrics. You got to pull them up.
Sing it.
It's. I don't remember.
Yeah,
how
sure.
it goes.
Shit.
She's
I
like,
have
I
to
remember.
be-
Yeah.
But it's a perfect graduation song, and it's I Will Remember You, but it's not Sarah McLachlan. It's the Ryan Cabrera version.
It's a cover.
So it's
You
not.
covered the cover.
I really don't know how this goes, but it's 8 years later.
Read it.
Yeah, read the
8
lyrics.
years later, time goes by fast. Got my memories and they will last. I try to keep it simple because I hate goodbyes. I try to keep it simple by telling myself that I will remember you and all of the things that we've gone through. There's so much that I could say, but words get in the way. So if we're not together, I will remember you.
Oh,
and I
my
cry.
God.
Wow,
That sounds
it's
like a funeral
really
song.
basic writing too.
And I the shade. Ryan, how dare you?
I'm just saying it's very like,
On the
and if I
way
miss you,
down.
then I will want to see you, and therefore I miss you. Goodbye
Yeah, but sometimes
forever.
the simple
you.
message slaps. You know,
That's true.
That's true.
True.
The irony is I hated high school so much.
Also, 8
wow.
years. Did you change it to 4?
I did. I did. Oh my God, I'm spilling everywhere. I totally
that was
did.
bothering me because I was
Yeah.
thinking about that.
Yeah.
I fully
So you also-
changed.
Because you're like from.
So you
fifth
also took
grade.
liberty with the lyrics
I took liberties with
of a
Ryan
copyrighted
Cabrera.
song.
Wow.
Ryan, I'd like to officially apologize to you
my
for really
God.
So-
not being true to your art.
Our song
You're
was
not only admitting to the plagiarism
Correct.
and the piracy,
This is a crime.
this, yeah.
Is there statute of limitations on this?
but you're also editing. I don't know what the crime is for this.
nothing.
The crime
He just
is
took artistic liberties.
Okay.
The
you know
crime
what?
is
Go home.
Crime of
Really-
no taste.
Go home.
Do you know what my school did? It was not corny. We did You Got a Friend in Me from Toy Story and played that
That's
as we all
very
walked
emotional.
down.
That's not corny.
No, I don't think it is. Would you guys say that's corny?
I like it because it's so corny that it's like sweet.
Well, yeah, we all
You know
grew
what
up
I mean?
with Toy Story. It's
Right.
like, you
It's
know,
not trying to be serious.
yeah.
It's like fun.
Right.
I like
What's the
that.
song that
right.
Jesse sang
know,
in
I'll go
Toy
home.
Story? That one makes Evan cry every
know.
time.
What song?
Remember the cowgirl Jessie?
Yeah. No, I definitely know Jessie.
Her like the toy owner who like had Jessie.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
I don't
sang in
remember
the
the song, but I remember just
second
bawling.
one. They sang a song that's so. See, that would have been the one that I chose for my graduation. because
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
too much.
You
like
cried in
it's
this.
too
You
much.
cried in Toy Story 2.
Well, the second iteration had no. Yeah, I don't.
That's the one where they go. But they fight
Emperor Zurg.
Zurg in the toy store, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's just not.
That one's pretty good.
I don't
They're all pretty good.
It was the
It's not
song.
like 1 or 3.
Did you
it
guys
was-
see 4?
You guys, it was when somebody loved me. Everything was beautiful.
Oh, that song is unbelievable.
Oh, it's
That's sad.
emotional.
Yes.
It'll just fuck you up.
Did you guys see Toy Story 4?
So good.
So good.
So
Gray and
good.
I cried like 3 times in that
Oh,
one.
In
sobbed the whole
first,
time.
in the first few minutes, it just
We were
messed
tearing
us
up.
both up.
Also, the
first-
second I hear Tom Hanks's voice, I got tears.
The Buzz
already.
Lightyear,
I agree.
the Buzz Lightyear movie.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's so
you
good.
finished it without me. I was so pissed. It was solid though. Starting out.
Becca at one point through it, she was like, "I totally forgot this was like a cartoon."
You're just so invested.
I did.
She was like, thought we were just watching a real space movie for a minute, and then
She's like, I wanna
it was
sign up for the Space
it's like,
Federation.
oh yeah, wait, this is a Buzz Lightyear movie.
Well, it's like I'm not a cartoon person. Like I feel very aware that I'm like watching a cartoon.
And you look
even
at
if
Ruth,
it's
you're like,
good.
this shit's not even real.
I like push her over. I'm like, stupid. Made up. No, but I did not have that feeling. I was watching like a work of cinema, watching the Buzz Lightyear movie. It's pretty good.
Dude, but the fourth one, when she's like, toys go missing all the time.
Then he rejects her.
Oh my gosh.
It's
You never
good.
saw the new
It's
Toy
Oh
so
my
Story.
god, it's
good.
worth the watch. It really is.
Ember and I went and saw it in the theaters like 5 times.
so good.
And I cried every single time. It's so
Toy Story
so good.
3, I watched it on a plane and I was sobbing. My classmate had told me that all the toys die at the end. She's like, spoiler, they all die. So I really thought that they were
Toy
gonna
Story
die, and
3
I'm
is
so
like,
sad.
I think one of like the greatest animated movies ever made.
Okay, question. What animated movie do you feel is the most emotional? What has brought the most emotion out of you? Is it Toy Story 4?
Raya really screwed me up.
Great movie.
So good.
I cried a
Him
lot.
and
in
Taylor
Raya.
So
Pierre
good.
We're watching it in Mexico and they were just crying together. I wasn't.
I couldn't
watching
stop crying because it was like the father-daughter stuff was hitting so hard. Ruth was like 2.
Yeah.
She was like asleep in the bed next to us, and the whole thing of like her just trying to see her dad again.
The animation of that movie too is so gorgeous.
And all the characters just want to see their dads again.
Oh my gosh.
Is it the dragon one?
Yes, it's the dragon one.
Yeah, that is really good.
That one was so magical.
The most emotional. What's yours?
It's a different one.
Okay, I can't think.
I don't know if that's the most emotional for me, but
yeah, I don't know if this is the most for me, but the one that right away comes to mind, and again, it's very much based off of the song. Whenever there's a song that like really fucks me up, Meet the Robinsons.
Okay.
Anybody? Meet the Robinsons?
Yeah.
Seen it.
Towards the end of that, where it's like because he was waiting to get adopted for so long, and then all of a sudden, like he realizes, like it's spoiler alert if you haven't seen Meet the Robinsons, like it's him in the future and his family,
right?
And he has this beautiful whole family, and he's had a family this entire time, and he like ends up getting adopted. That adoption scene. I was thinking about my sister the whole time, dry heaving in the movie theater, dry heaving. And then the song hits, Little Wonders, Rob Thomas. And it was just like, the song, it's time falls away in these small hours.
Oh yeah.
In these, and I'm not joking, just like it was really humiliating in the movie theater at the level of sobbing, and I'll cry hard every time.
Did you guys ever see Land Before Time?
Of course.
No, I actually didn't ever watch
Land
the whole
Before
thing.
Time, Littlefoot,
excuse me.
Land Before Time, the first one. That one. With watching that as a kid I remember being super emotional. Because there's also, it's like a roller coaster because of Sharp Tooth, and there's like scary scenes.
Sharp Tooth.
But then every scene where like his mom, in the opening, his mom dies fighting the T-Rex.
Oh my God.
And he like watches his mom get like killed and eaten by a T-Rex. And then there's like later scenes when they get like left behind, they get separated in like a herd migration because of an earthquake. And they have to like find the pack, but he keeps like seeing his mom.
Oh, it's sad.
So there's like these sequences when he's like,
that's actually really upsetting.
He like sees his own shadow and it's really big, and he's like, Mother, and he's like running to her and she's not there, and you're like,
oh my God, I fully forgot about that.
It's like in Lion King when he's like pawing at his dad,
my God.
except they keep recalling it. They just like keep echoing that sentiment throughout it, and it's like so. It's so gnarly.
This is a real classic, but this one still, I just remember even as a little kid, I was like, Dumbo was like a real
That's dark.
Dumbo was dark.
Those
old
Dumbo's
Disney
dark.
movies get really dark.
Because it's like he's separated from his mom, but then there's also like the circus element where like the people are prodding him to like perform.
No,
but
it's
also
really
like,
upsetting.
that
movie.
one's sad.
The like
upsetting.
filters they put on it, they draw it like super gnarly.
Yeah, they
it's
like
really
they do like
gray.
dark tones and stuff. Yeah,
it's
that's
very
a sad
like
one.
it's those old ones like the Pinocchio. It's dark.
That movie terrified me
Pinocchio's
as a kid.
so scary. Did you see the Jonathan Taylor Thomas version?
That movie gave me nightmares as a kid when they turned into donkeys. I was literally like, what the fuck just happened? They go on the roller coaster and the water splashes on them, and
so
all
scary.
the kids turn into donkeys.
Did you see
And they're like hawing, like, and they're
the
like
JTT version? Anybody?
Yes, that's the one I'm
That's the
talking
one
about.
that scared the shit out of you?
And they do it as like, all the boys turn into like these like donkeys in their clothes, and it's like Pinocchio's like freaking out.
That movie was so dark. That movie was so fucking dark. The fox in it is Rob Schneider, and then the girl
Rob Schneider,
and then the girl is Bernadette Peters. It's real. It's a real movie, and it's really dark.
It's a real movie.
It's a real movie,
not a fake one.
It's not a cartoon.
Like, who did this?
It's more of a documentary about Pinocchio.
It is. It's
really
almost sounds
scary.
like a I can't think of his name. The Nightmare Before Christmas
Night
guy.
Shyamalan.
It feels kind of
Tim Burton.
It feels Tim Burton. That sounds Tim Burtonish. The way you guys are
It's
describing
not.
it. Tim Burton doing Pinocchio would be.
It's just a live
That
action
would be
Pinocchio.
really
It's
scary.
horrifying.
It's so scary.
I'm not familiar with these films. Are these newer films?
Evan
What's yours?
doesn't.
Emotional.
I only have. I didn't
them.
watch a lot of Disney, so none of these deep cuts.
Power Rangers.
The third season. Okay, so I don't have a deep cut. And I'd have to like look through the list. That's why I was on my phone. I was trying to look through the list because I have a bad memory of like what's what.
Yeah.
I will say Toy Story hits really hard.
Yeah. I like it too.
Brave Little Toaster used to hit me really hard.
Oh my God,
What
no.
is
I
that?
know
I've
the
never
most
heard of that.
emotional one.
Brave Little
About a
Toaster.
Brave
No.
Little Toaster.
No, most emotional one for me, Iron Giant. Did you guys ever see that one?
I've seen the cover.
Hogarth.
That one was sad.
What
and
kind of a
dark.
name is Hogarth?
I just remember being I think I remember crying in that one.
Well, yeah, because he
like,
sacrifices himself.
yeah, and he like doesn't have a family, right? Like,
I am Iron Man.
yeah, it was sad. And
So tight.
he was
yeah.
like, he seemed like a little like stunted in a way. The
robot.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
just sad.
Yeah. That one was
Iron
sad.
Giant,
Brave Little
dude.
Toaster was emotional. I know it's not a cartoon, but it's
Hogarth.
technically a Disney movie. Homeward Bound is really what made me just weep.
I put
That's
that
a
on for the
happy
kids.
ending.
I put
That's
that on
true.
for the kids the other day.
That's a great movie.
I loved that one. Sassy the cat.
They were so into it.
Chance.
I only put on like 10 minutes of it.
Isn't it weird the things that'll scare you from childhood though? So like Brave Little Toaster, I remember being really terrified of the scene where the vacuum accidentally eats his cord. Like,
Yeah,
I remember that
scene's so gnarly when
it's
he's
so
choking
upsetting.
on his cord.
Yes, but like it's so interesting
And
in
then
a child's psyche.
it's weird
like
when they
what
go into the, like-
scares children.
It's also
Yeah.
weird when they go into the appliance like
yeah.
the breaking down the appliances where it's like the
yeah.
broken appliances getting ready to be
That's dark.
but
chopped
like
up.
it's just funny because like and obviously Ember isn't scared by it either. Like my kids aren't scared by Nightmare Before Christmas. They like love it, even
They're
though that one's
obsessed.
like all dark and creepy and weird. Like as an adult, I'm like, ew, this one's like, ugh,
Right?
it looks like gross and weird.
But no, that's
But
not.
our kids like aren't scared
They're
by
not
that.
scared by that. They're scared of the wolves in Frozen.
I heard you remember hearing
And
you talk
then-
about that on.
My gosh, what was so funny was I put on, they're like obsessed with pirates. So I let them watch the first like 20 minutes of Pirates of the Caribbean before they're like all the zombies come out.
Yeah.
And Ruth was getting really freaked out by the pirates, but Frank is like so pirate.
Pro
Loves the
pirate.
pirate.
That Ruth was going, it's scary, Daddy, turn it off. And Frank was going, it's not scary. He was going, it's not scary. Pirates.
He has his Captain Hook hat on.
Frank was like, there's pirates.
He's like solid.
They're not scary. They're pirates. And he's like, this is like the best thing.
Oh
and
my
he's
gosh.
like, Ruth, like, go away.
Yeah, he's like, don't ruin
Go
this
away.
for
He's
me,
like,
girl.
we're not changing this. It's pirates.
Meanwhile,
It's
Ruth is very
amazing.
correct. Pirates are terrifying.
They're
They're
creepy.
murderous, terrifying
Drunks.
people that will
Murderous
just
drunks.
slaughter your whole ship
Frank
and take
insists-
everyone.
Frank insists they're good guys, but Ruth was like, "Why are pirates?" She was like, "Why are the pirates behaving like this? I don't understand." She's like, "Why are they stealing everyone's things?" And I was like, "That's what pirates do." And she's like, "They steal things." I was like, "Yes, it is the nature of the pirate
That
What'd
is
you
to
say?
the
steal
pirate.
treasure." She's like, "That's not." She was like, she was just really trying to get this thing around like wrestling with like, but I want to like pirates,
Right.
but they're obviously
doing
the
something
bad
despicable.
guys. She was like finding herself being like, I don't want to be on the, I don't
Yeah,
want to like
I'm
the bad
wrestling,
guys,
I'm
but
wrestling.
I like the bad guys.
I got to stop you there. We got to pivot on the ocean theme. This is my segue. Jess, you have a story that you told me one time that half of the episode got deleted. But you need to retell the story and you need to remind Evan of it, and Gray needs to hear it for the first time. This is the infamous Hawaii story that I've brought up multiple times, and I've been waiting for this day, for this date night episode, for you to recount it.
Okay, so
And now's the time.
This story, first of all, I'm like, it is crazy. It's a wild story, but it's
not-
also
okay.
it's not like
oh
yeah,
my
it's
god,
not
like the half of the plane fell apart and you had to parachute out, kind of crazy.
No, I believe we started talking
it's
about
an
this
interesting
because
social interaction.
Yes, it's social because I believe we started talking about this in the episode that got deleted. Because I was saying if I could go back, if I could have a moment in my life where I could transport back and be who I am now and like know what to say, this is one of them.
Do you think you would have? Do you think if this? Okay, tell the story. Then I want to hear if it happened to you now. If you think you would have had a presence of mind, like what do you think you would have said now in the moment, taken aback? Okay, lay it out there. So also, I don't know if it would have happened to you now.
Oh, it definitely would
You
have.
think?
So, yeah, for
But
sure.
I wonder if that woman could smell
my insecurities.
in that moment. Okay, tell it.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, so now you know what story it is.
I think so.
So this was many years ago, and Evan and I were on vacation, and I was having a hard time. Like I said, this was many years ago when I was really in the throes of like really intense struggle with my mental health and honestly very specific struggles with my body and a lot of body dysmorphia. So we're at a place where it's like bathing suits, whatever. And so I was just not feeling comfortable. And so I was doing a lot of like, wearing dresses instead of my bathing suit or wearing shorts and a t-shirt instead of just my bathing suit around. So Evan and I find this like little inlet. It was like quiet, whatever. We go in, there's no one there. It's just the two of us. And it's this beautiful moment. And I'm trying to like walk off my anxiety. I'd been having a rough day. And all of a sudden, this woman walks down and she is severely hot. Like
Baywatch,
like she's rocking her string bikini and nothing else, just flowing hair, stunning, whatever. Okay. And so she walks down and I am taking a little stroll by myself as Evan is kind of jumping in and out of the water. And I find this out later, by the way, this first part. She approaches you first.
And he was like a little bit ways down the beach, right?
Yeah, she like went out of her way to go. So we were like on opposite sides. I was taking a walk and he'd been diving into the water and I was like walking off. And I was like, I need a minute to myself, to my anxiety, and I'm having a rough one. I was taking a walk. She goes out of her way to see Evan. And I find this out later. It's on Evan. Like, what did she say to you again?
Well,
because it was like, I remember when you told me, because Evan never thinks anyone is hitting on him. And I always end up going, Evan, this person was so obviously hitting on you. So when he tells me it was like a wild hitting on situation, I'm like, this was next level hitting on.
Yeah.
What did she say?
It was kind of worse because like me and Jess are kind of down on the beach and on the way up the path, there's like a hammock in a little area to hang out in. And she's like swinging in it with like a cocktail in her hand. It was like a movie, you know what I mean? And she's like halfway swinging in it, and I'm walking.
She's like a siren. It was like a siren from the movie, like where you're like.
And I'm walking up to the car because she was like, "Oh, I think we've got our water bottles in the car." So I walk up to the car, and she just goes, "What is your name?" But it wasn't like, "What's your name?" It was like, "What is your name?" And I was just like, "What?" Evan, nice to meet you. No, I was just like, what? And I just kind of blew it off, like whatever. And then I came back down.
You're like, I don't have any money.
Well, it was
tumbling hair down. What is your name? You're like, no.
It was just so like wild. You know what I mean? It just like it felt
can you
unreal.
Imagine? I'm sorry, I don't have my wallet.
I'm not interested. I'm not buying.
I don't have my wallet.
Not today.
It was just like so like what? And she was just like, "What is your name?" And I was just like, what? And I was so shocked. My social security card, and I just kept walking, and then I came back down, and then as I came back down again, she was just like, "What are you doing here? Where are you staying?" Like she was just like,
she was at your room number.
No, she was asking him where he was staying.
Like
and
she was just like wouldn't let me go. Like she was just like, "What are you doing here?" And I'm now walking, and I turn and I see Evan talking to this
on the jungle path.
On the jungle path.
I had my bags
Evan's
packed.
on the jungle path talking to this swinging siren. And I'm just like, what is going on?
He just gets up and leaves. Starts walking to the cars with her.
I'm just like, oh, hey, wait, it's a rental car.
Low-level pain.
And so I'm like now feeling more insecure. And I'm looking at this woman just like,
Babe alert.
So he then ends up coming back to me and I was like, what was going on?
Right.
And you were like, oh yeah, she was just, and I think you were trying to downplay it because you knew I was like having a rough time. And you're like, yeah, she was kind of talking to me and being a little weird, but it's okay. Whatever. And so that's when you went in the water and I started walking. This woman follows me as I'm walking and starts going, hey.
Oh my God.
And I turn around.
My anxiety would be at a 12.
And she goes, hey. And I'm like, I turn around. And at this point, like I said, I was really struggling with my body and insecurity. And so I have my little shorts on I think I had like a tight little top on, but I was covered. I wasn't in a bikini.
You started describing it. You're like, it was a purple top.
It was a purple top.
My
It's
breasts
burned into my
you could see my nipples slightly peeking out from it.
They were slightly firm. It was a little chilly in the air. No. So she starts going, hey, hey. And I turn around and she's like, what's with the clothes? And I'm like, what? And she's like, what's with the outfit? Like, what's with the clothes? You're on the beach. Relax. And I'm like shaking. And she's like, I'm just saying, if you're wanting to keep your man, you might want to try taking off whatever this is.
How aggressive. Like,
It was so aggressive. It was and I was just like,
what kind of person does that?
and then
It just blows my mind.
it gets, I was literally like, I was already so insecure that day that I was just like, ah. And
You immediately start stripping off your clothes. Whatever you say, mistress.
No, and I didn't say anything. I just go, huh, and just kind of keep walking and just ignore her. And then Evan comes back and I'm like almost crying. I'm so upset. And I'm like, I want to leave. I want to go back to the car, like whatever. And the only way that we can leave is walking by her because she has set herself up on the jungle path, which is the only way to get to the car. Yeah. And so we have to walk past her. So I go, Evan, I just want to walk past her as quick as we can, whatever. And we are walking through and up the stairs, and this woman in front of me, Evan's like has hands on the small of my back, like helping kind of push me up the stairs as I'm like shaking. And she's like, if you change your mind, I'll be at such and such bar tonight, and like gives him the name of the bar, dude.
I don't even remember that detail.
It was like,
that is,
and it might have even been like, anytime you want to like upgrade. It was something
something.
crazy.
It was
like
so
in a
wild.
movie.
It was a movie. It was a movie.
That's what was so crazy about it, was like, not that she was
doesn't
hitting on
happen
me
in real life.
It wasn't that she was kind of looking at
No one
me
says
and then
these
she
lines
like,
and does
when you were in the
this.
water, she goes like, so where are you from? It wasn't that. It was
It
like,
was so intense.
it was a movie. It was like she had gone to
so
therapy that
Mrs.
day, and the therapist was like,
Robinson,
go
like-
out there and get what you want in life. And she's like, okay. Like,
I just
"Wah."
picture her almost like tickling your arm as you walk by, be like,
It was, I mean,
see a hot shot.
If
you
she
know?
would have done that, it wouldn't have been surprising.
it was the next move.
We were talking about it. I remember like a few years later or something. And I'm like, you know that show, that John Quixote's show, What Would You Do? That's what it felt like. Like they had a hired
her?
woman
Where's-
there to be like with cameras being like, what is this couple going to do when someone
Yeah.
tries to break up their
Where's
marriage?
Ashton? Where are you? Yeah.
Bring out the hottest woman you can find and have her try to seduce the husband in front of the wife's eyes while breaking down all of her
Where are you,
insecurities.
Ashton?
Yeah,
I know.
Ashton.
It was like,
And
what?
I do remember, like, obviously, like all that, but the main thing I remember was being so devastated because, like, there was no one else there except her, and she ruined the whole thing.
Like,
and I was just
who-
being like, God dang.
What does she do? That
No,
story
it's-
just perplexes
And it's me.
me.
A weird mystery too, because I would have understood it even more if she was there with like three friends and
You
they
know,
were like daring
right.
each other to say crazy shit or something. But by herself, it was a siren. I mean, it was a straight up.
You know
like,
when they say
It
like
was a-
you
it
know
was
when
a
they say like
mirage.
angels, like she was a demon.
She was a
like, You know,
demon.
they're like there's angels among
Yes.
us. Like
Yes.
she was a spiritual.
It
like,
felt like it.
force that was like
felt like it.
planted.
it was a personal attack.
It was a spiritual attack.
It was a
for
spiritual
you.
attack.
Spiritual
It
warfare.
was.
That's
It
spiritual
really
warfare,
was.
you guys.
So now, if
Like
I
your
would go
own
back,
Bedazzled.
you're like, it was Evan's fantasy. That was what made it so hard too. It was like so Evan's type. I was like, it was like, you've got to be Evan's face.
Have a type.
I mean, from your script, she feels like she's everyone's type. She sounds like
Yeah,
any
no,
man
no,
on the
she
beach.
was
is
just-
No,
his
she
type.
was just
like
stunning. But it was just like,
blonde
you know my
No, but,
type.
like, he had
smoking hot
booty, tiny
models.
but it was
Yeah.
literally like, but it was like, it wasn't even some like blonde babe. Evan's like, you know, it's like her darker hair. Like it was
Yeah.
so his type. And it was just like,
Just
you've
worst
got to
case
be
scenario.
fucking kidding me. But if this would happen today,
And I was comforting her with a massive smile on my face. I was like, babe, don't worry. Because my ego's just through the fucking
You're
roof.
looking at the car mirror. You're just
I'm
like,
like, babe,
I don't get what the big
everything's
deal.
fine.
everything's great, actually.
I don't get what the big deal is. She was really nice to me.
No, it's like,
What are
babe,
you so pissed
She
about?
seems super chill. Like honestly, she seems more going to that bar with her seems a lot more fun than hanging out with you right now.
In this mood,
You're a mess.
No, it'd be a lot
Jeez.
more time. I'd be like, babe, listen, honestly, she's probably just going through a lot. And she just, is looking for validity somewhere else, and it sucks for her.
Honestly, I'm concerned, and like I kind of want to go there and just like make sure that she's okay.
Okay.
Maybe we should invite her to dinner. Like she seems like she's having a hard time.
And we're here by ourselves, like like that's nice, but like we've been together for like we've spent a lot of time around each other. It might be nice like be around someone else for a little bit,
Change of scenery.
Okay, broads, one more quick pause before we dive into the rest of this episode. So have you ever sat down at the end of a long day or a long week with a glass of wine, so excited to just unwind and relax, only to take a sip and, oh God, the wine tastes like battery acid? Okay, what a buzzkill. Literally. Well, broads, unfortunately, that's what can happen when you buy a bottle based just on the picture or the label. I would know, okay, I used to do this, but that's the old Jess. The new Jess would never do that because the new Jess has a First Leaf Wine Club membership, and now every bottle I open is a winner. Seriously.
Every single bottle is a winner with First Leaf because each shipment is totally unique to your taste. You don't get a standard shipment of wine each month like most wine clubs. They work to develop your preference profile first. So before you actually even get any wine in the mail, they ask you what kind of foods you like and what kind of wines you currently drink and other questions like that. And then as you get the shipments, you'll rate each new bottle with a thumbs up or a thumbs down. So the more shipments you get, they'll continue to get more tailored to your taste. And I love how they do the little flavor profile before you even get your first box.
One of my favorite things is that I have tried so many new wines that I probably never would have picked up in the store thanks to First Leaf. And it's great because each bottle comes with a guarantee. So if you don't completely love it, you can just send it back and First Leaf will credit your account for a brand new bottle.
Sign up today. You'll get your first 6 bottles for $39.95 plus free shipping. Go to tryfirstleaf.com/chatty. That's tryfirstleaf.com/chatty to get your first 6 bottles for $39.95 plus free shipping. Tryfirstleaf.com/chatty.
Oh, broads, I am so excited to be talking to you about Etsy. I almost feel starstruck right now because I'm such a huge fan of Etsy, okay? I do have a question for you, though. Is there anything more awkward than opening up a gift that is just oh so generic and having to pretend you're thrilled? Of course, any gift is a good gift, right? But the best gifts are the ones that really have some thought put into them, the ones that when you open them and you instantly know the giver put so much thought into the perfect present. Well, don't fall victim to generic gift giving this holiday season. Let Etsy be your go-to for thoughtful gifts for all the special people in your life.
Oh, you guys, I am an Etsy addict. I love Etsy. You can find the most unique items on the site, but I also like that when I shop on Etsy, I'm shopping directly from makers, which means every purchase also supports a small business. And it truly does not matter what you're looking for, whether it's fashion, home decor, something super personalized, whatever else. Etsy has thousands of unique stores and products to search through. If you can dream it up, you can find it on Etsy. And I buy literally half my Christmas gifts or birthday gifts for people on Etsy.
I honestly use Etsy for everything. Like I said, I'm such a big fan, especially around the holidays. Oh my goodness, I do most of my shopping for my friends and family on Etsy, and I've been doing it for years during the holidays. It's almost like a sort of treasure hunt, trying to find the perfect gift that you know the receiver is just going to freak out about because it's just that unique and personalized, perfect present. Also, this is kind of new to me, but if you're into anything vintage, Etsy is your spot. I recently got into vintage t-shirts, and I have found some of my absolute favorites on Etsy, but you can find anything there. I love shopping on Etsy.
New to Etsy, use code MERRY10, that's MERRY10 at checkout for 10% off your first purchase. That's code MERRY10, like Merry Christmas, MERRY10. It's a max value of $50 and the offer ends December 31st. Go see terms at etsy.com/terms, but for gifts of all kind, Etsy has it. Shop etsy.com and use code MERRY10.
Here's the thing. Now, when I'm in situations where I feel like, let's just say there's someone who's being very flirtatious towards Evan and I'm feeling uncomfortable, like if we're at a party and someone's just being too much, in my opinion, like being disrespectful to a certain degree with me there, what I normally do now is I lean into it. That's my power move. Is if some girl's trying to like be all over him and is like,
you're like,
girl,
I'm all into her. Then
it's literally like she'll just be like, you like the type of, like person who'll be like, you better watch your man. Like, and it's a little like, I don't know you. It's a weird thing to say. Now my power move is I'll be like, I know, right? Isn't he the cutest? And then I'm like, I feel that I'm taking my power in that, like, and I'm just kind of whatever.
Grab by the crotch and like slap him in the face in front of her, be like, she's like, yeah, right? Isn't he great? Watch this. Heel, and just like this. You're like,
slams head on the horn.
She goes down, and I'm just like on all fours at a party.
Start licking her toes.
Like, yeah, you're just.
But I could not do that with this woman, because if I was like, I know, right? She would just steal him like from the beach. She was way too intense. Now unreal. I think what I would do.
What a weirdo.
What do you think I would do, Evan?
Fly off. I think because you're not like someone
who. I would go
you
off
probably would be quiet in the moment again, but then like probably when you would probably like work yourself up for a couple minutes, and then you would counter it again and be like,
go back.
You know what? That is sad.
Go back to the car and get like a tire iron. You just stare at her, don't say anything. You just like march up the hill while they're talking. You just like come back, and Evan's like, you should go.
You have about 10 seconds before it.
Or maybe you would just really play it up and like be all over him. Like maybe you would literally just start riding him in front of her on the beach. You just like, pull out his dick and start sucking his dick on the beach in front of her.
Like,
I feel like she would try to join. That would be the issue.
No, I think now,
and I'd be like, I'm insecure now.
Like, you're so good at talking that I think that like, and you've gotten over that hump in a big way. It's like, I think that you would be able to just be like, like just have great comebacks and one-liners, and just like, if she said that to you, I think it'd be like
high praise. I don't know if I'd be able to.
I think you'd be able to.
You're saying she'd go like liquid swords on them and just be like verbal diss, like battle.
I think she'd be able to kind of like, at first she'd be shocked, kind of a version of what you're saying, which is like at first nothing, because you're like, is this actually happening?
It's so jarring.
That's bizarre.
And then
so
I think
jarring.
you'd digest it for a sec, and then you'd come back and you'd walk right over to her, and you'd be like, you know what? And then it would just be like, dang it.
That's like your rabbit moment in like 8 Mile. Like every other time you've frozen up when someone's confronted you, and you get the diss, and then all of a sudden it's like, dun 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 dun. And then there's the like, it's like,
only got one shot.
This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. And she's like,
because it truly does. I mean, that is a once in a lifetime.
She's like, what are you saying? And she's like,
move yourself.
Jessica's just like, mom spaghetti.
It's like, this thing is crazy.
These arms are heavy, and then just like,
and I'm in the back going like this.
You know what I think?
No, I just go up to her and I don't do 8 Mile. I just look at her and I'm like, I'm having my 8 Mile moment, and I'm just like, it's time for the Ryan Cabrera graduation song.
Oh my god!
And I just have a tear going down, just making direct eye contact with her, singing the most emotional song ever.
And she's like, I need to leave immediately.
Does this scare you, lady?
Oh my god!
I think is the only move for a girl like that. The only move is to just turn around and just go. Start like running after, trying to bite her heel, literally getting on all fours, scrambling.
I always think about the movie. The best movie is just to scream at someone full, just like, and they're like, like if you're just like, you better watch it, you're a man.
Have you seen the video of this guy walking down the street and he has a stuffed dog and it's a stuffed animal, and he's like to the lady, and she's like, oh my god, and she's like, get you, and he's like, and he keeps doing it, and she's like freaking out, and he's just, it's a little like stuffed animal.
Oh my god, such a scary person doing that. The thing about that story that I said when we did that episode is like, I really do think it's sad. Like that girl that's really sad. Like legitimately, like when you first told me that, I remember just being like, dude, that, like you said, that girl's not with her friends. Like this is like what she does. Like she is really desperate for attention in like the most like gross, twisted of ways.
Yeah,
like,
I would hope I'd have the presence of mind in that moment to be, because now I look back at it, and even though it really hurt me. It was like, oh man, that was really intense.
I believe she saw you. I believe she sensed your vulnerability and it was like, she is hurt. And so she was like, I'm going to go in and make her feel even worse. It's classic bully
because
shit.
I was fully like when I'm so anxious, my posture gets even worse. I'm just like on the beach, just like, dude,
I think you guys are missing the point here. I mean, don't you believe in love at first sight? Like, I understand. You're making this all about her. And it's like, it's all about me.
Yeah,
like,
she was really,
she saw destiny in your eyes.
Be that good looking?
Right.
People throw out their morality and their good behavior and they just become entrapped.
Well, you're also missing the incredible opportunity in front of you to give this woman the tools to be financially independent.
Oh, interesting.
You could have changed her life.
Imagine if someone said that and you turn around. Have you heard of Amway? Where are you interested in becoming financially?
My God.
That's it, dude.
That's the move.
It.
That's the move.
That is the move.
That's way better than barking.
Way better.
Broad.
It's so specific.
Have you ever wanted to be
anyone listening out here? If someone is hitting on your partner and you are not into it, if someone is making you feel bad, if someone at school is being an asshole to you and bullying you, you turn around and you ask them if they're interested in joining your MLM.
Be like, hey, and I'd be like, oh, so like, are you ready to discuss this?
Are you ready to sign up?
I've got a great sign up. I've got a great intro package. I'd be like, look, I'm talking about $1,700 that you could turn into $4,200
weekly.
3 weeks. You got to put in the work.
Wow, that's so disarming.
Oh, that is God, I pray, take me back in time so that I can propose my MLM to this woman.
What? You remember, were we talking about that on our episode? How I would like to be on the beach where that happens to you. I don't want it to happen to me. I have a lot more presence of mind if I'm watching something happen to go intervene. If it's happening to me, I wouldn't say anything here. I'd be like, I'd do the exact same thing. I'd be like,
So crazy.
Intervening though can be like,
I would maybe do, if we were walking back up the path and she said the thing to Evan, I would be like, I'd probably go, stop. Just stop. Stop. That's probably all I would say.
Right.
Don't you think? I'd probably be like,
I feel like, I don't feel like I really probably would say anything until that final.
Road?
And I'd be like, this is getting embarrassing at this point. I'd be like,
can you leave us alone?
We've been together for 15 years.
Like, start telling her story. Our first kiss.
I remember 16. Our first kiss. He was
fireworks.
17. Okay.
Fireworks. You start crying. Fireworks.
There's a child back at home. This is our only time away, and you're really fucking it up. Okay. We've been struggling. I just start going to this whole thing about like our marriage is like falling apart. I'm like, you're making it worse.
If you were in a different like emotional state, though, the whole thing could have been hilarious.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I really think that girl smelled it, the insecurity, and that moment of weakness,
that
and was like
enough. And I do feel like I have the presence of mind most of the time in situations like that because Lord knows, I get in weird situations. Sure. People just feel comfortable saying some weird shit to me sometimes.
That's very true.
But you've present for a lot of it.
I'm like, what?
Have you ever thought about like if you were to go back there, but you weren't married and with Jess?
I would have just prayed for her, honestly, and recommended a couple local churches for her. And just been like, hey, like, I wish you the best. And clearly I'm looking for someone with a bit more maturity, a bit more presence of mind to respect other people's feelings. I wish you the best. That's what I would have done. And I would have been like, and I don't appreciate...
What am I, an object to you?
And I don't like the fact that you feel that you can approach me this way. I have a mind.
Okay, I'm tired.
I am not just this body. I'm not just sex, baby.
You sound like, what's the white-haired comedian's name?
Jim Gaffigan?
No, the old actor, like, classic.
Steve Martin?
Yeah, that sounds like Steve Martin.
Life's not about that, baby. Do you want to make $20,000 a month? With very little upfront.
Let's talk about what life's really about.
You show up at the bar and you're just like, hey, you start playing it off like, what's your name? Wow.
Yeah.
So
I go, call me. And then I like connect with her, and then I start hitting her up with like 20% off this weekend, the conference down in Florida. You're gonna love it. Speakers. Here's the speaker list.
This is the in. This is the in. Okay. I knew there was something.
At 32.
I knew there was something special about you.
You have a CEO mentality, and no one is giving you credit for that.
Normally what I give people is like I'll give them like a 5% discount on the opening package, but I'm gonna invite you to the thing that like only people like me get to go to. Okay, I have +2.
I'm in a diamond facility.
I have +2. I've already used one on my nephew. Okay, blood, family, but you, I have a feeling about. Don't be scared. Don't be scared of changing your life. It's hard in the beginning. It's
Imagine
hard.
a flexible schedule.
I've done it all.
Close your eyes and fantasize with me. Will you?
Get outside of the physical body.
Be brave with me for a second. Let's go there.
Imagine a pink Cadillac. What did they do?
Yeah. Like
If you ever wanted to drive a pink Cadillac.
You're focusing on the wrong thing. What is this? This is just it's flesh and blood.
This
I'm
mortal
promising
coil.
you freedom. You not see this?
Financial freedom.
This is just a body. You want to live forever, baby?
You know, it would be so fun if we did a challenge one night where we went out to a bar and we actually had each of us.
Let's see how many people can sign up
to sign someone.
to a fake MLM with no online package or nothing. Just like promise them all this crazy shit.
Just
The human fun.
Make a fake Squarespace form, for someone to put all their info into.
Be actually a great 2-hour challenge. Like the first hour is to make a website. And then the second hour is trying to get someone to sign up for your website.
You have to design your own website.
Yes. You gotta find a weird picture of people being like this and shit. Like
you have to come up with your fake product too.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What's your MLM product? If you're like, let's say we're going to the bar right after this and you have to sign people up for it. What's your MLM product?
Galaxy International.
I would do something with crypto.
It's not a thing. I deal in people. I don't deal in products.
I would do it like a crypto
if I teach you something, you can do anything with it.
Crypto Ponzi?
I would go for a crypto Ponzi.
Crypto's down though.
I know.
But everyone's looking for that next 100x opportunity,
Yeah.
That's what they want.
Well, you could just spin it too. If it's down right now, it's the perfect time to buy.
It is.
Okay, I'll tell you what I'd do.
Okay.
Sales training.
What the? You wouldn't get me at the bar.
Of course, no. But you're not the person.
Okay.
So like people
You're not who he's looking
what I would
for.
say is my whole thing is like, listen, there's people are always trying to promise you crypto stuff. People are always trying to promise you these kind of products that are going to fix you. You know, that's not the case, right? Mm-hmm. You are the product. Mm. So if you are convincing
Product me. Is the
then
name
you
of
can
the
go
girl.
out and make all the money doing it. It doesn't even matter what you want. What's your passion? Oh, you like playing piano? If you can sell yourself, you can endless. So my whole thing would be like sell yourself, sell.
It's
you
like
can sell
self-coach.
anything, self-coach. But if you go like
Hustlers
product,
University.
yeah, and then I would talk shit about yours and be like, "There's a guy right here, by the way."
That's good.
Would you please call your MLM? Please call your MLM Product Me.
Product me.
that.
Product
I like
me.
that. Product me.
Yeah.
Why are you trying to give him the competitive edge
God
here?
See?
damn it!
Product me.
I already got you to give me a secret. That's how good I am.
But see, I would talk about how we know that those self-help books are fake.
Okay.
And they don't go anywhere. And I'd be like, you want to put your money in something real, something tangible. Okay? And that's the bot coin.
Bot coin.
Bot coin run by
Okay.
bots.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
And it's about data collection through bots. And people would be like, oh, okay, yeah, data mining.
I like that.
I've got mine. A millennial spin on the timeshare. It's it's essentially a timeshare, but I'm selling it as like an Airbnb that you can own a part in out in Joshua Tree. So you can own in a group of people part of an Airbnb. You get to pick 2 weekends out of the year to spend at the Airbnb, and you also get a kickback from when there are other people that come stay at
What's
it.
that when you work at a
How much would you be asking for?
He's buying.
Yeah, he's already in. He's already in.
fully-
No.
$500 bucks. $500 bucks.
500
'Cause I
for
would say
2 weekends?
No, but I'd say
It'd
you
be
get-
like 5,000.
no. What?
It doesn't sound real to be like you
No,
$500
it does. It does. You do
gets
the math. No. Let me
So
just break
do the
down the
math.
math for
There's
you.
56
You break down the math for you.
weekends out of the year.
This sounds realistic.
on, guys,
You
don't
get
fight.
2 weekends out of the year. You get 2 weekends out of the year. That's approximately 5 or 6 nights, right? So no, we'll say 8 nights. We'll say you're doing a 4-night weekend. It's an extended weekend.
Okay.
So then that breaks down to about $50 a night. It's not too good to be true. but it's way cheaper. And also you have the benefit of when you sign other people up to own part in the Airbnb, you're going to get a percentage of what they put down on their payment to own a part of the Airbnb. So if you get 5 friends, and you get $100 from each of them, you're already paying for your part in the Airbnb timeshare.
So I feel like this has gone from a bit to an actual business.
That's how many.
Because about 45 seconds ago, we were in the bit, and then you transferred into like actually thinking about this.
That's
so I actually feel like that's what happened. We were doing some fake shit. You got real there.
I think I would win.
I did the math, and there's nothing real about it.
Okay,
and then I'd be like,
sense.
look, 5 of your friends right there. Look, if you get the 5 of them to sign up for this, you're getting your $500 back. You're getting $100 from each of them.
Right. Okay.
And then I'd steal all their money.
Yeah. And you scream at them when they ask for their money back.
I would try. Another challenge would be fun is try to sell people.
Wait. What's
gift
Jess's
We gotta get
product?
Jess's now. We gotta get Jess's now.
Okay. Forgot.
Pills.
I was gonna say vapes was my first thought. Actually, vapes.
Like
Just a drug dealer. I love that.
I'm a pills.
that's what I was about to say.
Girl.
Like pressed pills.
I'm going, for me, I'm all about convenience. There's so many products out there where like when you're trying to look for vitamins, supplements, all that, they promise you all this shit. You have to take a million things. And even the ones that they say,
Cover everything.
Do they cover health, but do they blast you with serotonin so you have no problems?
That's called Molly.
It's called Molly. But what we're going to do is there's a type of a specific pill that it's literally a blast of happy. Just calm.
And you just make up a random name like Figandra leaf.
Yes, gorgeous.
Right.
Just some sort of like herb that we just found.
Yeah.
All the celebrities know about it, but they're not sharing because, they don't want it to get out because,
Little do you know, Gwyneth Paltrow just bought like massive stock.
I would
in
maybe
the Figandra
show on my
yeah.
website, I would have a like behind the scenes kind of like a TMZ type clip of Gwyneth Paltrow behind the scenes being like, this changed my life. I've never been happier. Like I've never taken anything. I've never felt younger. I've never felt better. It looks like it's like behind the scenes and be like, look at exposed. Celebrities exposed.
Cures hangovers because you're going to be talking to a bunch of drunks.
Gorgeous.
You didn't think mine was genius?
No.
Yours was good. It just needed more work.
The numbers were too low. The numbers were too low.
No. Okay. What I like about yours, first of all,
but how much money? Okay.
Blast of happy. People want quick fix.
Yeah.
I honestly think a lot of non-addictive.
How much money are you asking though?
Well, my thing is this. I'm like, listen, we can do 2 things right now.
Okay.
You can buy some from me,
right?
Which God bless, this is going to be great for you. Or you can get on this on the ground floor, right? Because this is breaking now.
Great word.
It's breaking now, and it's going to explode. And if you get in now, this is like getting in at the beginning of Facebook,
right?
So and
you're going to be like a dealer to all your friends, except it's totally legal and totally doesn't harm anyone.
Exactly.
I was going to say mine would just be like actually drug dealing.
Sure.
You like to buy a bag
go
of
to them
blow?
and be like, look, yeah, because everyone in LA likes to do cocaine, and I just be like, dude, like like an eighth of coke's like almost $220 these days, and then I'd be like, but if you buy an ounce, it's only this much, which gives you a lot more. And so like I'm trying to get people on deck. You know what I mean? Here's
the problem though.
But so I'll front you, but you got to give me $150 up front. But then I'll get you, here, and then you just, your friends.
Okay, how much money for the supply? For the Figandra leaf.
Listen,
the Figandra.
There's different packages,
Figandra.
but like the package that's gonna like help you out the most, you get started with about, let's say
1,000 pills,
3-month supplies worth.
23-month supplies. Okay.
Yeah, $250, easy.
I like that.
That's not bad, right? And it's just CBD. That's the twist.
And I thought you were gonna say sugar, just a sugar pill.
No, because you're gonna feel a little something with CBD, so that it's gonna.
No, you know what? Feel something.
And
you and my mom.
You know what I love?
Me
and Becca. Yeah, but Becca constantly is like, what is up with these?
My heart's racing.
Meanwhile,
I'm doing mine. What did you guys do this past weekend? Waiting for the drinks. Dude, check out this Airbnb. And I just have a fake
that's
Airbnb.
good. That's
dude,
very
check this place out.
good.
Isn't that sick? Fucking pool. Dude, you know how much I paid? $50 a night.
No way.
$50 a night.
No fucking way, dude.
Okay, well here's the thing. I actually
just stayed in
own part of
Tulum
it,
and we had to spend $550 a night for a place like that.
I actually own part of it.
Oh,
or then
for real?
send them the website and just be like, no, you can sign up for it here. There's like they have like 25.
That's true. You just keep it super chill. Just let me text you the website, dude.
Like
me and all my friends do it. It's so crazy. And also, dude, if you get other people to sign up, you get like
200 homes
a 20% kickback.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just give them money and you select which home you want to be a part of.
Crazy because you actually
and I'm like, well, you don't have to do any of this if you just yourself is enough.
Really
because you're this vacation. People. What are you vacationing from? Yourself? Are you scared of? If you love yourself enough and you are a boss,
I have. What about this?
It's a CEO mentality.
I have a 50.
You're your own personal
way to go on vacation.
I have a $50 gift card to Radio Shack. But I lost my wallet. This is the only thing I have, but I'll give it to you for $30.
Dude.
You're selling gift cards, discounted gift cards.
There's no money on the gift card, Evan.
There's
no money on it.
It's not bad. A drunk me might go for it. I'd be like, if you're giving me like,
Shack.
I like how we're trying to build empires, and you're just like trying to make hey, how much more for this jacket?
Yeah, because you guys are going like, I'm trying to get my quick 5,000. I'm going, true. You know what? Increments of $30 here, $30 there.
Oh
dude, get this. My ex-boyfriend.
Oh my God.
You know how you can sell, like you can actually find places to rent on Airbnb? Did you know that was a thing? Like month to month renting?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so get this. They found a listing when he was moving to LA. Someone made a fake Airbnb website listing. They just did like one letter off from the actual Airbnb website, or it was like AirbnBapartments.com. It was a fake website that looked exactly like Airbnb. And so they like paid money to live there for their first month in LA, and it was fake. Someone lived on that address. The guy that they met when they went to check out the apartment was like, "Oh, like bro, like my manager forgot to give me the keys or whatever. You can look through the window. It's fully furnished, whatever." Someone lived there.
That's
and it was a full scam.
There's so many
Isn't that nuts?
House fish.
What?
It's like
catfishing
a
yes,
house.
but it's house fish.
Yes, that happens all the time.
Unbelievable.
Okay, well, guys, now we have to do some sappy questions.
Okay, let's do some emotion questions. This is
We've
our
already
last
burned an hour and
date
a
night
half.
episode. Should we do some?
Guys, I still have to. Well, one of the questions about favorite memories. I just shared this clip with Jess the other day. My favorite memory is when we were going through biopics and we got to Greg's biopic. The clips from that. In that clip, I sent it to Jess the other day, but I still can't get over it. I go, I don't know, guys. There's something dark about this guy. He looks like a gaslighter. He looks like someone who's got a lot of anger behind his eyes. And I just like had this, yeah, it was weird. And then Evan, you two were like, yeah, there's something like kind of dark about this dude.
What are we talking about?
Really Greg from KDC.
Looking at the bio.
This is why I love Becky. She doesn't let things go.
No. Never.
She doesn't
no,
let it go.
Literally never.
Just as petty as me.
Yeah.
Just we'll never let it down when we were right.
I'm just like constantly.
What about
notes?
That's my favorite memory from the entire 4 years of this show is when I was writing about Greg.
The dog one?
Okay, well, no. Hayden's the moment when I nailed Hayden as the dog lover was truly unbelievable.
That was. Those are the moments, babe.
Those were the times. Okay, wait, Gray. Actually, we went over what the best memory of his on the podcast.
Oh yeah.
Oh my! We're doing best memory on the pod.
Yeah.
Best memory on the pod. That's what we're gonna start with.
That's a massive one.
I know.
Mine is when I fed you Play-Doh.
Oh my God.
Dude, that is one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
That was very good.
I made Evan. We did blind.
That was almost a year ago, which is crazy.
Blind
tasting, and Evan gave me like beef jerky or something.
The funniest thing was Evan being blindfolded and like waiting because at first he got like a candy cane.
It was kind of like romantic.
It was kind of fun.
He was kind of romantic. He was like,
I think it's a gingerbread muffin, you know? And then he's like sitting with his blindfold, like, or his eyes closed, like, what am I going to get? You thought it was chewed up salami or something.
Well, I remember.
You started drying.
Yeah. Oh, I started vomiting. I almost vomiting.
You ran
out. I puked.
You were starting to. You ran out of.
Oh my gosh! Because it was so horrific.
It was
and
the
then,
texture too.
Well, and that was like a real thing too of like when you're not expecting something and then you're working with it. I worked on it for a minute. Like it was in my mouth and I was kind of like, oh, this is really bad. It's really salty. And I was like, oh, this is really not good. And then I was just like, wait a second. And then all of a sudden, it was like it had fallen apart in my mouth. So like the taste had like permeated my entire. It was over.
You rolled it around for a minute. It was like salt. salty.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's crunchy, a little salty, and I was like, oh, it's kind of interesting, and I was like, it's kind of gross, and then the problem was I was on my first, and then I started thinking about what it was, and then it was over because I didn't know it was Play-Doh. If it was Play-Doh, I wouldn't have felt sick. I thought he had chewed the food and then put it into my mouth, so that I immediately almost started I was thinking of raw tuna that he had chewed, and then I was just like, oh,
It's so much better than I could have ever imagined. It's so good.
The problem was my mind got too far ahead of me.
He thought you were
I thought he had chewed salami or something and put it in my mouth.
He thought he was mama burning you.
Yeah, I thought he was spitting it into my mouth, and I was just it immediately the idea came to my head, and I remember just being like, "Oh my god,
It's warm Play-Doh from my pocket."
It's horrific. I'm glad that was fun for you.
Oh my God.
Horrible.
My body hurts. It really hurts.
That's a real thing though. I remember doing a challenge like that and someone fed me a banana or something and I was like,
yeah, it's just a banana, but in your brain you thought it was something way worse.
Street garbage.
Yeah. It's like
Kristen's about to pass away.
This was me last episode when we were doing the leash thing. Dude, I remember I started to see stars. I was laughing so hard.
No, you guys, your guys' bit with the Logan on the leash thing, I was listening back to it and I was I almost threw up. I was laughing so hard.
Oh my god.
What got us was when we talked about the spike collar.
It doesn't hurt.
Wait. Do you actually have I was trying to think of
There's
favorite
so many
memories. There's so many memories. I mean, one is just I remember a clip someone got from us, and it's my favorite clip ever. It's a 5 seconds clip. We're going tat, 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 and you're. I don't even know. We're we're pretending
something about heels walking down.
I'm what is that? I don't know what we were doing, but it's that clip. Whenever I watch it, it brings me so much joy.
Yeah,
I
love
remember
that.
in the live episode we did, I pranked Jess with a fake snake.
No, are you?
You don't remember this? I found a rubber snake
when we did our Paradise Live.
I found a rubber snake in the bathroom when we went to that studio and we did the ticketed one.
Oh, I remember.
And we were wearing those oversized Tommy Bahama shirts.
Oh, dude, mine went down to my ankles, bro. It was fucked up. You guys all had perfectly fitted. And I was just
remember when Evan acted it was just the most absurd thing, but it looked like me in a medium-sized shirt. He was just this is I look ridiculous.
No, it was.
You're a big guy.
You're used to clothes not being huge on you.
Yeah, that's true.
You're not used to clothes being big on you.
It's the ratio of every sweatshirt Jess ever wears.
It was a summer dress on me.
No, it was. It was very much down to your. It did look like a dress.
But
you definitely could wear no shorts.
I literally did buy it.
Yeah,
I did buy it with a smirk on my face because I was I know this is just gonna send Evan over the edge. I just knew it.
I remember finding a rubber snake in the bathroom.
Me.
And I put it in my back pocket and I slowly pulled it out and scared Jess with the rubber snake on it.
Oh my god, yeah, you fully scared me. And I was
so
because I was also in the zone. I was nervous. I was like, oh my god.
The first live
oh my
show
god, this is so intense. Here we go. I was kind of shaking. We were having some audio issues at first.
Gray just brings out a snake.
And he throws a snake at me and I'm like, fuck shit.
Yeah. I like that Grayson's a comic from the 1930s. He's like, I got a scary snake.
I had an idea. It was one of those
weird shit. And I'm like,
it was just one of those moments of it was an idea. The light bulb went on.
Like
and I was like,
this is the thing. I wasn't in fitted shirts. My shirt is equally as oversized as Evan's.
Look at Evan's shirt.
Dude, bro, I look
he looks like a little boy.
It's just when a guy.
It's I wore my dad's suit to the interview.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
It's just I really love a job here. I work too hard. I care too much.
You're sitting in that shirt on top of someone's shoulders.
Yeah, seriously, it's absurd. It's
man.
I got drunk and ended up somewhere.
There's one too. There's a clip of
Oh my god.
It wasn't. I don't remember this part of it. But remember when someone sent in a clip where it was during one of our first couples ones, and I straight fell asleep in the middle of the episode.
Oh no! One of my favorite moments was going back, and I was editing one of our cast bio eps, and we were all here together.
Here and okay.
Yeah. And
I was expecting it would be a virtual one, like when we were sitting in bed.
I'm pretty sure we were here.
Oh my God.
And Grace didn't. No, he didn't fall asleep. We were all in the middle of some like really intense, heated debate, the three of us. And Grayston takes off his headphones and he's examining his headphones. And he's spinning the cord around, putting him back on, refixing him, looking at him for like 5 minutes, no exaggeration, straight. And it made me
literally like that.
It's like all of us were all yelling, and the three of us are yelling at each other, and Grayson's just like fixing it. I was just like zooming in on him. Just fine.
Dude, here's the thing too. The funny thing about Gray too is that like Grayson would do this thing, dude, like early in the pod days, like the first 6 months, where in the middle of a podcast he'd just look at me and everyone's talking, he'd go, dude, have you seen that movie that just came out? and I'm like looking at him like, bro, we're in the middle of a conversation on a show. Like, this isn't a party. We can't talk like this.
I would be like trying to show Evan.
We'd be like, totally. And did you see the dog? And he'd be like, dude, what's your favorite?
I'd be like,
have you
over
seen
here,
that Pixar movie just came out?
Like,
and I'd look at him and be like,
Evan
bro,
memes.
we can't do this.
Like, have you seen this video?
Like, dude, Evan, check this out.
Remember there was a video of him
still does that. Have you seen
he's trying to
this?
show Evan a video while we're in the middle
Dude,
of
and I remember early on too.
Still does that.
We'd be all talking, and I would feel him looking at me, and I'd be like, "Oh, it's gonna happen! It's gonna happen!" And he'd go like this, he'd go like this, and I'd be like, totally. And anyway, and he'd go, "What?" He'd go like, "Dude, what time are we recording on Thursday?" And I'm like, it still is the most endearing thing ever. It's just like mid convo, just be like, dude, today was crazy.
He's like, man, I've really been having a hard time.
I'm just keeping it real, you know?
Holy shit, that used to make me laugh so hard. And I would try not to look at him like, hey, dude, we're still in this right now.
Evan's getting all nervous. He's getting all anxious. Like,
dude, we're still here. We're still doing it. After.
Oh my God, that is funny.
I know. I'm like, there's so many memories. I'm just like, oh my God.
So many endless
I
memories.
like, as far as the four of us
Hundreds
go,
of hours.
I remember the first date night, the Zoom date night episode.
When was our first date night? I don't even remember that.
I think it was the Zoom one.
COVID.
It was COVID.
Was
and
it?
Yeah, and I remember that was such a good memory for me because all of us had been like fully locked down. And we we like had such a great time recording. And you guys remember
like 3.5 hours, dude.
we recorded for like 3.5 hours. And then we stayed on Zoom for like we were on Zoom. And we all of a sudden, I remember we were all like, oh my God, it's fucking like 2:30 in the morning.
I remember.
What are we doing? But like, we were just having such a great time.
I didn't have a cooler, and I remember I'd get like a big bowl and fill it with ice water and have all my beers in it. I would just have like this cold bowl of ice water next to me, just keeping all the beers cold.
Oh my God. That's funny. Barely, it feels so long ago.
That was so
doesn't
fun too
feel
because we'd just be
forever ago.
lying in bed like with the laptop.
No, we'd be
here,
like
just,
slowly
talking to you guys, just be,
sliding.
like, sipping and just be like, yeah, like this person. Just
Eyes are
looking
going
at
cross.
photos of people and just judging them and being like, yeah, this is Vad crayons.
$90.
$90.
I mean, I would have inflation, but goddamn.
When we were doing the cast bios and both of us are in our beds on Zoom and all four of us are slowly sinking into bed because we're on like hour 3.5 of cast bios and like by like the last guy, all of us are like fully reclined.
We're like
Just
idiots.
like, so we're at the Z's now.
Stupid. Broke.
Stupid. Next.
Personal trainer.
Tech.
Personal trainer.
San Diego. Trainer. San Diego. Tech. San Diego.
Real estate trainer.
San Diego. All right, we done?
We start with such gusto and be having so much fun, and then all of a sudden 3 hours later, we're just like,
and then we'd be like, ooh, substitute teacher. Nope, San Diego real estate. All right, never mind.
Guys, this is going to make me kind of sad, but I also fully support it. Are you guys going to do cast bio episodes like without us?
We
I
are.
think so, but maybe
Wow.
I don't know. But we're gonna have
some of the best episodes.
But we're gonna
You can
have to
Don't worry, you guys can call me in. Don't worry. If you want to call in, if you want to call in for just like a pick or two in the bio.
That's the problem,
Go for
though. You're the face reader, so I'm just like,
if you guys are deliberating on someone, just call me. Just FaceTime
I'm gonna
me.
need to.
Just call me.
It's
If you
gonna
guys
go
ever
crazy.
need like an expert on anything,
General genius. That's what they call me. I'm pretty good at everything.
or if you
Never
need
been bad at
ideas,
anything.
if you guys just want an ideas segment,
we need the idea guy segment.
Yeah.
Just call
I'll be
Gray.
there.
Give us an idea.
God. Oh, I did love those. Although they would stress me out because then I'd be like, because we would be riffing and then I'd be like, we're only in the F names. Like, how are we only on F? And then I'd be like, move it along.
One of my favorite memories about the pod in general is us learning and growing and learning. And one of the learning moments was when we realized we could break up the cast bio into 2 different episodes, because it would be like,
We'd be spending 12 minutes on each person until we got to the R name. Suddenly they're only getting 30 seconds each.
and then I feel terrible. It'd be like, you're just
Next.
flying by these people.
Hey, he seems like a nice guy. San Diego.
just like, no, these are fun to talk about. And like, you don't have to do one 5-hour episode.
Oh my
You could
God,
break
that
it
was
up into 2.
exhausting. That would
Oh,
get a
man.
little bit exhausting. Oh my. I think one of my favorite, were you there when we did the episode with Harry and Tyler? I think actually all of us were there.
Yeah, I think so.
It was like 5 people. One of our first 10 episodes. This was literally like episode 8. Episode
don't think
4.
I was there.
Maybe
I wasn't
Evan
there.
wasn't there, but I swear to God, Gray was.
I wasn't there.
There was a lot of people, like kind of a dumb amount of
Was I
people.
there?
It wasn't just, or maybe it
Yeah,
was
you
just,
were there.
Was I? I don't.
No, but maybe we just
don't
had our
think I was there.
friends.
Was it just Harry and Tyler?
I don't. No. Now that I think of it, I don't think we were a part of it at all. I don't think
Maybe
we
it
had
was
done
just
anything
Harry and
yet.
Tyler?
I want to say it was
I
just
think
Harry
we
and
made
Tyler.
a call to just have our guy friends on
Yes.
the show.
Was it just them though, Harry and Tyler?
There was one more. No, I feel terrible.
Right? I know there's another person. There's like literally 5 people.
There was one.
I don't know, but Tyler told this story, and I haven't listened to this episode in years. Tyler told a story about being in Kohl's with his mom as like a 12-year-old and getting a boner in like the shorts section, and like his mom, we're like trying on shorts, and his mom being like, "How do they fit?"
He's like, I can't get them
show
on.
me.
That's like, I never even heard that story. I'm dying.
I'm like panicking.
I gotta get this boner down. He's like, horrible shit.
His mom being like, "No, I want to see them on you.
Like the mid areas
Show me how they fit."
and he's rock hard. He can't get it down. That's gonna be really great.
That's like remembering the music playing in Kohl's, like, you know, top 20 in 2002 or whatever the fuck. Oh man, that was like, that one got me. I'm not
Let me
listening.
see how they fit. You're like, Mom, they don't.
For the love of God, please.
So
jean
funny.
shorts, Mom. Jean shorts.
Yeah, I need like a prison for this thing.
Denim for life.
Man, that one really had me dying. And then of course our first episode with Craig, which we talked about with Craig recently, and
Yeah, that one was
just
so-
crazy.
That was at our
roommates.
house, right?
Yes, it was.
That was the beginning of a real, beautiful connection there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Craig went on to become a staple.
love Craigie.
love Craig
love
so much.
Love Craigie. Okay,
Yeah, there were so many moments like that where it was just like, just meeting brand new people that you connect with so hard. It was just so cool.
yeah, I feel like we missed probably like a favorite guest or two that we could have had back on, but
I know. I remember,
it's sticking in my
there's,
brain.
throughout, who I right away felt like so connected to and who I wanted to have on over and over again, which I think we only had him on twice, was Pete Rollins.
oh yeah, Pete Rollins was so cool.
He was one of those guests too that like,
It wasn't a rollicking, laughing good time, but
well, no, it was like so
philosophy, heavy
It
philosophy.
was so intense, but he was one of those guests too that it'd be like, we'd talk like 2 hours. He'd get here, we'd talk for 2 hours before we record, and then he'd
I
stay for like
know.
we'd all end
love
up
talking to him.
He's amazing to
so
talk
fun
to.
to pick his brain. Yeah, he was great.
He's amazing.
Next.
Rob Bell changed Evan's life.
Okay, next.
Rob
Rob
Bell.
Bell ones were good.
Yeah.
Rob Bell, that was one of my favorite personal moments because obviously like there was so much depth and meaning for me. But one of my favorite moments was when Rob came the first time and it was just the 3 of us. And I'll never forget, Evan was like really struggling with some spiritual processing. And he came in and he was just like production editor guy. Like, he wasn't doing any podcasting yet with us. And we're talking to Rob, and Evan's like, Rob is about to leave, and Evan goes, "Can I ask you one question?" And Rob really like,
"Is Jesus real?
Is Jesus for real?
Is me life gonna be saved at the end of this?"
No, but I remember that answer really like.
Yeah,
that's cool.
You asked him about like, I forget the actual question.
I just asked him about, because like we were talking about, he had said one time, I heard him talking about this idea that like you have a yearning for like the divine or whatever, and I told him, I was like, I don't have that. Like I don't have this feeling that like there's something greater and that there's like a creator and that I'm a part of something bigger. I just feel like a human being on earth. Like I just feel that. So like if I don't have that feeling, what does that mean for me? You know, because he kind of made it in the podcast when I heard him, he kind of made it sound like we all have it. And I was kind of like, I'll be honest with you, I don't. Like I literally just feel like an animal on the earth. Like I don't feel like there's more to it. And then he kind of described to me that like it comes in different forms. It's not always that there's something great. It's like it could be connection, it could be friendship, it could be a dinner.
I'll never forget. Yeah, like, he said he's like what's something that you like doing? And Evan was like, I like spending time with friends and like having a drink and sitting and eating. And Rob was just like, you sit. He's like, you have friends over and you break bread together and you have like wine together and you talk about things that are silly and meaningless but also important. He's like, that's church for you. That is divine. That's divinity to you. So you do. And I remember watching Evan being like, oh my God. Like, and it opened up this whole new thing. That was a really...
Grant and I were kind of annoyed with him in the first episode. We were both like, he was dodging questions, like whatever. And then I loved having him on the second time and getting to pick his brain more.
Literally in my head right now, I'm like, well, he was a pastor. And like, if you talk to people of like, well, where do I see God in the world? They're like, well, let's talk about like where you might see God in the world. Like you see God sitting with your friends.
Now you're getting triggered though, because our nanny told Ruth, wine. Like, God is like, Ruth was talking about God.
Don't care. But Ruth was talking to me about God one time, and I was
look at him, so triggered.
Fuck? I was like, who the fuck is talking to you about God? Like,
I'm shocked you're so triggered because you weren't a religious kid.
No, he's super triggered.
I can see us being triggered because we're all religious growing up, but you weren't. So what's the trigger?
He gets way more triggered than me. I don't get triggered.
Wow.
By anything ever, you know?
What's going on with that?
No, he gets super...
You guys talk. What's going on with that?
He gets super triggered about God. He does. And so he's like, who's talking to me about God?
I am God.
Becca's like, there's nothing wrong with like talking to them about this. And I was like, that's how it starts.
You know, I was
like, no, the nanny was saying like, you know, God is in the clouds, and Ruth was telling Greg, God's in the clouds, God's in you.
She was
She's
telling
like,
me that God's everywhere, and I was like, who the fuck is telling me this?
There is no God. Deal with it.
God is dead.
Well, no, Patty was like, and then I talked to the nanny, and I was like, do you talk to Ruth about God? And she was like, yeah, like, is that okay? Like some people don't like it, and I was like, look, like if what you're telling her is like God's and all these things, I was like, I don't mind that, but I definitely care if you start talking to her about like how you're supposed to behave because of God, or if you start talking about like the Bible, or if you start talking about like institutional understandings of this, I'll start getting pretty pissed about it.
Sure. I don't think
I understand
because I'm like
I would feel the same.
My concern is I'm like worldview, like changing worldview or like introducing that at that young of an age, like they're so impressionable. I'm like, that's not the plan. Right. Like if we're going to have that conversation, it's going to be a different conversation. It's not going to be me being like, this is how it is or whatever. I'm like, I don't want anyone telling her this is how it is. I want to be able to explain to her like, you're going to have to decide what it is.
Yeah, except I have a different perspective. I'm like, she's 3. Someone's saying like God's in the flowers. God's like...
Yeah, and Becca's like, she's whatever. Like, what's the harm? And I'm like, well, you know, like you were someone who was raised in this way.
I didn't get harmed by any of that. I didn't get harmed by any beliefs about...
You were harmed, but I'm saying the like...
No. I did get harmed, but it wasn't about that. It was getting harmed by someone saying like, you're wrong for like having sex before marriage. You're wrong if you're gay. You're bad if you like that. That it didn't have anything to do with God for me. It was like people being weird about what it means to like be close to God.
It was a specific form of Christianity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there's a lot of people who are Christian who like it's like that. They're like, I love God, and that's like as far as it. Like we were in like actually like a
Most
world
people-
that like
yeah.
actually a lot of people like
Look right in the camera.
or,
It's a cult.
it is an institution that like not everyone's a part of. Like a lot of people like go to church a few times a year and are like, I love God. I love Jesus.
That's something that I wish I had, which was just like, God's sick.
I love God. He's
Daycare
awesome.
a couple times a year.
God's dope.
Everyone's happy.
Jesus. Happy birthday, Jesus,
That's-
on Christmas.
Like, that's dope. To not see behind the curtain, to have never seen behind the curtain is a beautiful thing. Just to be
Ignorance is
like, everything's
bliss.
fine.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's dope. You ever just see people like on Easter? They're like stoked to be there. You know, they're just excited. They're just like,
Well, yeah,
This is
I remember
great.
having friends where it was like, like we go to church on Christmas and we stay up. My mom used to be like that. Are you taking a break?
let's do a pause. Yeah, let's do a pause.
Okay, go for it. What do you guys think of this TV show idea? There was a show they did back in the early 2000s called like Pioneer Life or something, where they had people out on the frontier for a whole year. It was a reality show where families went and lived out on the prairie for a whole year and had to build their house from scratch and do everything, just like if they had like come in covered wagons or whatever. They started with all tools that they would have had in like the 1850s or whatever. And it was just a social experiment. A whole year out there. And they had to wear the clothes and everything.
I just say I think that should be your next reality.
Here's my
TV
idea.
show
I was
gonna
venture.
say, that
Like,
sounds like your dream.
Becca's.
Here's my idea.
What about my dreams?
No, here's my idea though.
I love that.
Your dreams are my dreams, baby. My dreams are your dreams.
My dreams are your dreams. This
My
is the
dreams are
thing.
your dreams. No, here's my idea though for the show. We do a smaller period of time.
Chores.com. You're gonna love this. We're gonna be doing chores for weeks.
Here's my idea. Evan, how much joy did you get out of painting your
Send help, guys.
repainting your fence?
I'm gonna link in my bio
How much
the
satis-
address of the farm and just send help.
How much satisfaction did you do from staining your fence and door and all that?
Here's what I'll say about you, Becca.
Okay.
Is that the reason why I make fun of that is because there is a piece of me that really wants to do it. I think that's what it is. Like I've been, you know what I mean? Like I go, that's insane. And I kind of go, I would be kind of interested.
Go do it.
You know what I mean? Like, because we have the same brain where my brain just goes like, instead of this, why don't we just get better? You know what I mean? Like,
do it.
I do have a little bit of that in me because like I've been like, and I haven't even brought this up because I just want to like respect our marriage and still be married. I've been like in this zone where I'm like, we need to focus on minimalism, and I just think I've had enough of this. I've been like, I've been listening to TED Talks on
Dude,
minimalism.
the studio looks great.
Well, listen,
But my view right here looks so clutter free in my peripherals.
Well, listen, I've been doing a lot of self-inventory on this, and I've been going like the amount of clutter and the amount of stuff we own that we don't use. This is enough. I've had enough. Like I've been having this thing. So when you say let's go on a chore vacation, there's a little bit of like, yeah, that's insane. But then I kind of go, I think I would find a lot of like satisfaction in getting out there in the mud and feeling my ancestral roots.
We all need it, Evan. Let me tell you something. We all need it.
She goes, by all means, join her.
He loves
Great,
it.
you wanna
Shut the
go?
fuck up. He loves it too.
Anywhere.
Greg gets out there
B,
where I
B.
drag
I
into
choose
these
B.
places, and then
I
within
choose
2
B.
hours, he's talking to the leaders of the group, and he's going, "So how can I get groups of people here from my climbing gym out here
Yeah,
doing this
of
stuff?" He
course.
loves it.
It's the idea, guy.
Here's my idea though for the show. A year is too long. That's just, that's
a lot.
That's a long
It's a
time. I would do
large
it.
commitment.
However, here's my idea. Influencers for 90 days. And we see what influencers can make it through.
I like that.
Doing this pioneer lifestyle or primitive lifestyle
I like
for
that.
90 days. and
Are
we
they
document it.
allowed to keep their phones
Yes.
on them? Okay.
So they can post about
That's
it.
part of the show. They're going to be on
So-
their stories, be like,
that's great.
my butter is not fucking churning.
That's great because I'm like that is something that is, with the reality TV that I do kind of miss sometimes.
Right.
That I'm like I kind of feel like I would like to see someone with their phone like posting shit and finding out shit about behind the scenes stuff.
And you'd be seeing on your phone how the other family is doing. That's like 100
How about
miles
they
away.
only
And you're like,
get it?
what?
How
Their
about-
log cabin
well,
is like already
How
built. It
about
looks
they
amazing.
only get their phone for an hour?
Okay, an
That's
hour a
good.
day to
An
post
hour a day.
updates.
That's just
snoop,
that's just a modern version of Simple Life.
I suppose. Isn't
Right,
that-
and I mean in a good way. It's
Yeah.
like it's literally you take these ladies from like high level
Well, right.
Hollywood and put them in a place like this. It's like what's our
true.
new version of Paris Hilton is like a big influencer.
yeah.
it's true.
Yeah,
It's
I
true.
think it would.
And that
I
was a
think it would
hit.
be interesting. I think it would be interesting. Some
like
sort
it.
of survivalism.
Yeah, it's like
meets like
Influencer
influencers.
survivor, yeah.
Yeah, and no one really has any skills. I think it would be interesting.
You're like, and I would crush it.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to.
Cast for it.
And I would be the lead and win every time.
Destroy the competition.
But there would have to be an element where like an influencer's skills could actually help them, right? There'd have to be some sort of
So everyone gets their phone for an hour, an hour a day, and whoever gets like the most engagement on something gets like another tool.
bonus.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I like that.
That's genius.
I like that.
So it had to
engagement
use
It's like
their
a video
influence.
game at that point. Yeah.
Basically.
Whoa, yeah, and then they get like you get nails.
Your post went viral. You get a pack of nails. Because that TikTok went viral.
You get peppermint candies.
Everyone gets
Popcorn.
a piece of
for you
sugar.
and the fam.
That's my favorite about Little House on the Prairie. They'd be like, "Ooh," or Little Women, tangerines for Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh, what joy! My limes. Anyway, that's my idea. You guys like it?
I actually think it'd be a fantastic show.
Who wouldn't want to tune in?
I would love to watch that. I wouldn't be good at it, but I would love to tune in.
Okay, back to the questions.
sap.
You guys are all looking at me, so I'm going to pick another question. I don't know why you guys are
Pretty
all
good show.
still
What else you
staring.
got?
You're in the boardroom right now.
Any
It's
other
like,
shows?
and pitch more.
Okay,
You took over, so go.
next question.
Continue.
Okay, what were you surprised about in the wife swap?
It's a good question.
Gray?
Kristen, what surprised you about me?
Next. Pass. Fuck, what did we go? Ours was just so good from start to finish.
It was. We had a good time.
I think what surprised me was being like, why it was so fun and so easy. I was like, why are we just getting to this?
I had a similar feeling too, where I was like, why haven't we hung out more?
Yeah.
Like
That's
it was
what
a
Grace
little
said.
bit. Yeah, I was like, oh, we had such a great time. It was so fun.
She knows I said it because I just said it.
What? You said it on the phone earlier.
This is the jungle path, guys. Come on.
I just said it.
Oh no,
It's interesting that you actually listen to me for once in your life. Go do a chore and maybe you'll listen again.
Do a chore, come back and talk to me. You can redeem your prize.
Do your own chores. Don't drag me out to these things and make me do them.
What surprised me is that Evan and I agreed on like every single debate thing that we brought up.
Yeah.
I was like expecting like a little bit of like, all right, moving on to the next topic.
Yeah,
like
right.
a little bit of like, okay. But instead we were like, for sure. Same wavelength.
I trip out on, I think what surprises me is like how similar people can be
While being different.
while being different, but also just like based on like, I don't know, like, you know, we were talking, like this year's been big for me in regards to like opening up my mind for things like astrology and all these things, you know what I mean? It's like similar signs and like similar,
Yeah.
I don't know, all these things and like realizing how you guys are similar signs and similar makeups and
We
me
are
and
the
you-
same signs.
Right.
Aquarius, Libra.
Right. And so like there's this thing of like, oh, okay, there's one thing to be like, oh, there's something to that. And then there's another thing to be like weirdly the same, where it's like specific things that like you guys are talking about and on the same page, and specific things where it's like that shouldn't be so the same. And then also the fact that like we are each other's partners,
Right.
and how like there's some weird connection there to be like, why is it that we attract each other?
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
Well, and it's interesting too, then, because it's like, then with our show, it's like the fact of the
Right.
matter is this: we made it for 4 years against all the odds. Like there were so many life changes going on with the two of you. Like you're birthing babies, like life was getting so busy. Like there were so many weeks that it was like, there's no way this should be able to keep working. It's too hectic. It's too wild. Like schedule. I mean, everything.
Well, and even with like practical life stuff, is like you guys are going through so many changes, like as individuals and as like a couple too. Like so
Right.
many like
where you're like,
things
this
happening.
shouldn't be still being able to work. And so that's that interesting that it's like the crossover with the couple where you're like, oh, it just worked.
And it was weird too, because once we made the connection, I feel like it was like maybe a year ago or something, that like we really made the connection of how similar you two were. It really allowed me in our bros episodes to connect to you differently.
That's funny.
You know what I mean? Like I
Like
started
sexually.
The sex was great, but it always was good. And
we
I
always
think
had a good connection
we always had
sexually.
incredible sex, and I think that's what I took that for granted. But it really was like this thing of like me and Jess have always been able to like talk for hours because we're not the same. You know what I mean? We come at it from different angles. And when I really kind of saw you guys together and saw like a genuine connection of like,
I still haven't listened to it. Oh,
but no, I mean,
can't wait.
I don't even mean like that episode. I just
in
mean
general,
more like just in
life.
general. I'd see them just chit-chatting in the kitchen before we did an episode or whatever. And I would see like just like the same struggles, the same ideas, the same things you're good at. It almost allowed me to like really understand you more. Because I was like, because me and you are similar in some ways, but also very different. But it also makes for what the chemistry is funny. And it was like, it allowed me to really lean into it and like fall into it all the way. Because I was like, oh my God, like you are what I love about Jess, which is that like thing. You know what I mean? Cute. So I don't know. It was like, because that's what I love about her. And that's why I was like, why is it funny to talk to him? Like, why do we have such funny banter? Why do we have this weird ability to just like go on about nothing? We don't have any history. I've never known him before the podcast.
It is odd that your guys' dynamic worked out so well, and then ours did too.
Totally.
Like it just
No, for sure.
Like we have the same dynamic in a different version, which is weird.
Definitely.
Like it doesn't make sense that like
yeah,
we
like
have the exact.
And our audience, our listeners, all were down for it too. Like, oh, I love the bros. Like so many people like feel the same way of like love the bros, love the broads. Like it's just like a given.
And I think the reason why
it
it worked is because it was just you guys 2.0.
Yeah, and
in
also,
a weird way.
Well, and also listeners got to watch your guys' like relationship develop and change too, which is I think like what so many people enjoyed about like our show over the years and what made it interesting. Yeah, and I think that we are just like investigators and are like, like we're very analytical, but obviously still like emotional, but like very like, okay, but like how do things work? And like, why does this make sense? And like, I want to get to the bottom of that. I think that that's like just fun.
It is weird how we both have this like desire to kind of like touch the edges of everything and be like, where is that edge? Where is that edge? Where is that edge? And then you guys have this amazing ability to make people feel comfortable. You know what I mean?
I would say from what I've gathered, Grayson and I are anxious Peter Pans.
That's a great description.
There's like, it's like the
Disney adults.
Disney adults.
Oh, fuck you.
No, but seriously, it's a beautiful thing.
But I feel like it's kind of this thing of like, we have this weird, one of our, I feel like our through lines is that we both have this thing where we're like, there's so much joy in life and I love everything beautiful and meeting new people and it's so fun and life is playful.
And I'm so sad.
But I'm so riddled with sadness and anxiety simultaneously where you're like, there's this battle of like, oh my God, like I life is so beautiful and it hurts so much.
If
and
there's
like,
other people, we can be like, life is beautiful. When I'm like, when I'm alone, I'm like,
Evan and I, meanwhile, are in denial of our feelings because our parents didn't let us feel serious joy or sorrow. So we're just like, I'm totally fine. We're good. Yes, keep on.
Just bury it deep inside. There's nothing there.
I don't really feel that. I don't feel those levels either.
no, you make a joke out of it.
I don't have feelings.
Definitely.
Both of you guys have that.
I don't do that. But
I'm just. Grayson and I are like checking our phones, like having an anxiety attack, and you guys are like making a joke, and it's like that's.
It's just another coping mechanism.
Yeah, it's all coping.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I watched Gray have Gray has always said about like social media stuff, you know, like, oh, I'll get over it, it's not that big a deal. And then Gray had a moment recently and he was like, like literally in the pit of despair, couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, like could not.
I wasn't that bad.
You're like, I'm so strong.
He was really thrown into it. But I was like,
No,
oh,
she'll send
wow.
me to
Like
the hospital.
that's
Straight up.
Yeah, I'm not making fun of you. I'm just like, no, that's like real. It's also like the way that you guys are similar of like
Send me
getting
straight to
thrown
the
into it. And he said during it too, he's like, I just want everyone to like me. And I was like,
No, and Grayson was so sweet because he sent me the nicest message ever.
oh, really?
And it was so, I appreciated that message so much. He was just like, I just want to, like, you sent me the most encouraging. He's like, I just want to let you know, like, I'm feeling this for the first time. And like, I admire like the fact that you guys like so much that you've done this. And I'm like, oh, thank you so much. Like, that means so much. But no, it's very overwhelming for our senses, I think.
How do you think you would handle that, Evan? Do you think you like, because it hasn't, I wouldn't say.
I might be the first one that, I might be the only person that hasn't had
you
like
haven't really fully experienced it. Like, as,
I mean, I would say now is different than a year ago since I've been working on all this stuff. I think that I probably will be, I would be hurt more or like be more in my head about it than I would have before. It would have been more of a defensive technique before. Like if I, you know what I mean, fight against any sort of
explain yourself,
or
like
just
shut
like
it down.
or just like if you disagree with me or you make me feel this way, that I'm going to fight you back as opposed to be more in my feelings about it.
That's what I used to do. Yeah,
Right.
I used to be like, "Fuck yeah!"
Right. Because it's like a way to not feel because you're afraid of the hurt. You know, I would rather focus on it not happening.
Avoid that.
I'd rather just stick against it. But no, I mean, it's a weird thing. I mean, it's like Jess is so incredibly empathetic and so like tuned into how everyone's feeling in a room that it's like a superpower, but also her, you know, it's the demon, you know, because it's like if you're tuned into everyone's feeling, that is exhausting.
Yeah.
But if you're tuned into everyone's feeling, you are kind and empathetic, and everyone feels that you're feeling that, you know, because they're like, oh my God. Like, that's why people are so drawn to her all the time, you know, because it's like this feeling of like, you get me, you know? And I think for me, it's like, I have so many defense mechanisms. That
We've
like,
talked about this with like what's it called?
It's tough.
What's the types
empath.
called? Stop.
It's really hard.
What's the thing?
It's the human design.
Did you ever do that with Evan? Like we were talking about this human design thing, and like hers is like the reflector, which we talked about this a lot personally, which is like it's like this mirror thing where it's like, you know, being able to show someone themselves, but then like the flip side of that is being careful that you're not like absorbing the energy of when someone's like reflecting like onto you who they are, like because then that'll just can like drain you.
I would really like to be in a situation where that's happening and be like,
you're just like talking to somebody, you're like, oh, out of nowhere, you're like, holy shit, your dad.
And you go, sorry.
And they're like, what? And they're like, what just happened? And you're like, I'm sorry, just like I caught
I'm
like,
really empathetic.
the full reflection of like what was just happening there. Like it just hit me so
like,
physically knocked me back.
I wanted so bad to throw my whole chair out
The way
and like
you were
fall and hit the wall.
way you were just like this, the self-reflection bouncer.
Do you know what Evans was?
Evan was a projector.
Whoa.
Which is
What are
like
you talking about?
it's human design.
Gray's like, what the fuck am I?
Evan's not a projector.
No, it's not like what it sounds. He's not like he doesn't like project things on people. He's like
Projector. I just feel like you're really in a mess right now.
He's really projecting.
I'm thinking of like Ongo Gablogian when he's like, aren't we all air conditioners?
Ongo Gablogian.
Okay,
Charmed, I'm sure.
Okay, wait. Projector. What's that one again? It's like that's like a vision thing.
It projects the image on the
It's
wall.
a visionary thing. No, it's this whole thing.
He describes the hardware. Well, a projector, when you want to watch a movie, but you don't have a TV.
Actually, it was really cool because like basically like what Evan does with being a music director is like a perfect fit for someone who is a projector. And which makes sense
It's
to
like
why
projector.
you love
They're like
doing
music
that so
designer. That's going to be your
artist. Career. It says Evan is
ultrasound tech. Yes,
ultrasound.
That's me.
Used to be a music director, actually.
Someone who like doesn't know is just like I'm looking
at the same thing.
I am the technician of ultrasounds.
I mean, are you hearing that?
Not normal sounds. Ultra,
like super,
more than mega.
So yeah, tell me. I want to know about that one. I'm gonna look up yours too, Gray, right now, so you're not left out.
Projector. I'm trying to remember all the details with projector. But yeah, I mean, it's like somebody who does really well.
Gray's a projector too.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense with what you like. I mean, you being
Gray's profile description is the easy breezy genius.
Oh,
he loves that. Holy shit! You better take that back, or you're gonna be dealing with.
I didn't say it.
I want you to be happy, babe.
Yeah, you should say more of that so he goes on the chore vacation.
Lay on the affirmation, babe.
Yeah, if you want the chore vacation to happen, you better.
This is actually real. Gray's environment is places where people can make connections and enjoy connection. You need to feel in touch with the real world and not removed from it. And I feel like that kind of encompasses a climbing gym. Mm-hmm. Climbing gym owner. Oh my God.
Oh my God. It's right there.
I believed that for a second.
The telltale feeling that happens. I'm going to look up yours too, Evan, right now. The telltale feeling that happens when you're not living your design is you get the feeling of bitterness.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Does that hit home for you?
I hit home for her.
That was a great answer, by the way. So,
guys, I have the most common one out of everyone. I have the most common one I'm just a generator. That's like the worker bees of the human design. Boring. I really don't have an interesting one. Evan, what's your birthday?
What's your next sentimental question?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, no, actually, I think this might be yours.
It says badass bitch. Let's go.
This might be yours. It's projector, and it says you're the challenge solver.
Yes, that's what it
is. Okay,
shit.
so the sunrise chart works.
I actually
which
think
is
that I was
so
born in the
you.
morning.
You are the challenge solver.
And
I like problem solving.
environment caves, places where you can choose who you're around, such as your home or social settings you have control over.
Yeah.
That's you?
Big time.
Interesting.
I like to control my environment big time when it comes to social circles and that kind of stuff.
Really?
Uh-huh.
How does that manifest? What for you? What does that mean?
I have a really hard time hanging out with people that I don't connect with.
Like
no, honestly, I mean, like I want to be on the same page and I want to have the same kind of vibe. And
no,
the second
and I know
the
that
vibe isn't
sounds
there,
like
I'm like,
I know
really
you laugh
struggle.
as though that's obvious, but that's not the case with everyone. You know, some people will like being in a position as a salesperson where they can fake connections
or try
with
to
people.
win you over.
Yeah, some people really enjoy that, and they don't need to feel a connection with people.
I'm a big connection person. I want to feel safe. I want to feel like we're on the same page. We think the same, or at least.
How would you feel if you were how would you feel about this? If I invited you on a trip, and you thought it was just the two of us, and then you arrived and it wasn't just the two of us. It was you just got brought on a group trip where the only person you know is me.
Here's the thing. I'm not talking about. Okay, let me separate these two things.
You look stressed.
I feel like that would really stress you out.
Well, okay.
I don't agree. You're totally
stressed.
You're totally fine. And I'm
it's stress.
I'm if you were
what? What's the situation?
If you were I'm going with
him
my
on a
friend.
trip and he thought the trip was just me and him, but then he shows up and there's a group of my friends there.
I don't think that would stress me. I think it would piss me off. I'd be like, why did you make me feel like it was just us going? I wouldn't say anything, but in my head, I'd be like, the fuck?
I'd be well, because you told me you get anxious if there's other people there that you So
I'm trying to stretch you.
But this is more fun when there's this many people. So you're just going to do this now.
You would feel, be honest, Evan, you would feel really,
he's about to explain himself.
You would feel really sad. I know you'd come home and you'd be like, I don't know, why he said it was just going to be us. And was that not
depends
good
on the
enough?
friends,
what
though.
If I never
Because
say,
also, though,
what if
Evan just magically vibes with everyone, which could be the case,
he'd
then
love
he'd be
it.
like, best weekend
He'd love
ever!
it. He'd love it. He'd love it.
So here's the best way I could describe it is if I trust the person's social judgment who's bringing people, then I'm cool with it.
Becomes best friends with all my friends and just X's me out of it.
Just Gray's the Punisher in his social circle.
Yeah, I've done that a lot. No, I'm just kidding. And I just go, we're all at lunch, and I post about it, and you're not there.
So wild.
It's 5 of Gray's childhood friends.
Yeah, and I'm just
they've flown into
and
LA.
I go, these guys are the best. Friend stealer, classic. Set me up, King.
I got good ones.
I'm a great shapeshifter. I'm whatever they're into. No.
He answered the goddamn question.
This answer my hypothetical.
Yeah.
I think it would depend on where I'm at. Like if I'm in a zone where like I really wanted to talk about some stuff,
Palm Springs.
I'd be totally cool with bringing a bunch of people. 100%.
Yeah, that seems like the kind of environment.
100%.
It's like if
Yeah, but the
Evan's
vibe
been
is
coming to you and
totally
being
different.
like, I've been having a rough time, and you're like, let's do a backpacking trip, dude. Like, let's do it. Like, we'll go somewhere quiet. Like, we could just really
Think
unpack.
about-
And then he's like, his 6 friends are in the car when he pulls up to pick you
And they're
up.
like,
That's
remember
if
that one
someone-
time in 3rd grade? And you're like,
If someone did that, I don't know. I would be fucking pissed. if
Right.
someone
when
did
I
that
was
to me.
arranging Gray's like surprise backpacking trip for his birthday, one of his friends who was helping arrange it was like, "Oh, I'm gonna hit up like all the homies," and I was like,
you're
"No,
like, whoa, you missed the thought.
4 people max." Gray does not like
I'm not big on the like everybody
yeah, especially with backpacking. People are slow. People are
camping, especially.
I'm like
camping,
you. I love a 3-person trip.
Yeah, especially
3
like excursions
really
like that.
total 3.
Yeah, I think so.
My mom maybe my mom just
I wanna
brainwashed me. She
move-
was like, someone's always left out in a
I
trio.
despise making
Yeah.
like group plans where I'm like, well, we want to go do this, and then someone else wants to
For
go do
sure.
something else, and everyone's like, okay, like, well, what are we gonna do? And I'm just like, I don't need to do this with anyone.
Wait,
I'd rather do this by myself.
guys, by the way, your thing is also bitterness if you're not in the path you're supposed to be on.
Your human design.
Your human design thing is also bitterness.
I could see that.
You know what mine is?
What is
Okay,
it?
I'm the generator, worker bee. Guess what my little title is? The Great Life Experimenter.
I
Whoa,
mean,
that's weird.
That is
Right?
wild.
That is weird. Actually,
You're
these
going on
are
a
so
chore
weirdly
trip.
specific.
I mean, like, you're literally going on an experimental trip.
My environment thing is yours though. People where people can make connections, whatever. My self theme is frustration when I'm not in my path. I don't want to look up yours, Jess. Let's do another sweet question
Okay.
before we wrap. We could go on forever and ever and ever.
That's true. Oh,
Oh, you found yours.
mine is disappointment when I'm not living in my, which is so true.
Does that mean disappointment in yourself or other people?
Or generally.
I think it's probably, I mean, I don't know about what this one specifically means, but I feel like deep disappointment in myself a lot where you're like, oh, you fucking bitch.
Oh.
Yeah. When you're not doing what I feel like I'm supposed to be doing, I like wake up and I'm just like, it's not good.
Oh.
You know?
Oh.
Yeah.
I feel
And
that.
I'm the
Yeah, what's your title?
the investigator martyr. Oh. Thanks.
It's like the
Rude.
podcaster.
Straight up.
The investigator martyr.
Well, that's the 1-3. This one also says the establisher of knowledge and truth.
Oh, okay. Chill.
Damn. That's that. Yeah, 100%. Like the balancing
what's
the
it-
Libra. Though,
Well,
like,
that's all. Yeah, that's like my justice complex
Yeah.
too. I'm like we must know like
Sure.
what is wisdom and good in this world.
Interesting.
You have to
Yeah.
make sense of it.
Wow. Does it say what your strategy is? Do you have that thing?
Yes.
What's yours?
Check this shit out. Sorry guys, I know you weren't with us, but when we had Jessica Stone on,
Yeah.
she's like, you need to wait for a while.
Oh my God, wait, this is so funny because I can't wait to see mine.
Jessica Stone told us you need to wait for a while before making a decision. That was her big thing to me.
Yes,
She's
no, I remember. Before
it's
speaking, before doing it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And I was telling her, I was like, I feel like this culture tells me I need to do something quick, and it is so against like how I feel because I feel like I'm not giving my correct answer.
Yeah.
My strategy is wait a lunar cycle.
No way. A
fucking
month.
Which feels right to me to
Guess
wait
what-
a month.
guess what my
before stepping
strategy
into
is?
Something. What?
Respond. That's literally what mine says. Respond. Immediately
So
just
funny.
say some shit back.
I mean, that's so dead on.
That's so us.
It's
Becca,
so
did
us.
did you just buy those?
No, they're your mom's.
You stole
Sound
those
like a
from my
joke.
mom?
Yeah, I'm wearing his mom's Ugg boots.
sound like a joke. Your mom's.
I hate
Wait,
it.
you guys are wearing the same.
like
No,
the
hers
same
is a short.
bottoms
Just wear
with
your
the same
mom's-
bottoms. Oh, they're
Yeah,
both
they're
Uggs. I
Uggs.
guess.
Does Jess
Sorry.
wear your mom's clothes?
My mom?
Yeah.
He was just taken so aback.
She will wear my
No.
She'll wear my mom's clothes, and I'll be like, dude, that is fucking weird.
Yeah, but if they see each other all the time and they're always watching your kids, that's not that weird. I don't want to
see her in my mom's clothes.
I don't know. He's got some weird Oedipus shit he's in denial about or
Where'd
something.
Where'd you get that lingerie? You know. 1978.
No, he did. She did give me like a little pair of like shorts.
This is what made you born, big guy.
She did give me like a little pair of like, pajama shorts. Yeah. And Gray's like, ooh, I like those. And I was like, they're your mom's. And he was like,
they're your mom.
And he was like, stop.
That is weird.
My mom will like.
But who cares? He didn't like the shorts on his mom. He likes the shorts on me.
My mom's closet. She'll be like. Becca will be like, you need to pare down. And she'll be like, oh, like, like, no, I don't think so. And then she'll go through her closet and she'll be like, oh my gosh, like, I bought that in 1982. Like,
okay, here's your strategy, Evan. Wait for the invitation. That's cryptic. What does that mean? What do you guys think that means?
That is interesting.
Right?
Wait for the invitation. I mean, I would take that as like you do you. You focus on what you're doing in your life, and then to like move forward in life, like wait till it comes to you.
Yeah.
Wait till someone asks or the offer is there.
Oh,
it's interesting you say that because this year
you've waited for the invitation.
I specifically thought to myself, I was like, you need to like chill out on some of the mind grinding you're doing on certain things. Like just take a deep breath.
Yeah.
And let come what may kind of vibe. And that was definitely the like kind of mantra this year.
Wow.
And it was like definitely helpful in the process versus kind of like needing to create an opportunity or a situation. It's kind of like your anxiety about it is not going to change what happens. And that's interesting.
Gray's is the same one.
Wait for the invitation.
Or that's because I don't know either of your birth times because I put you guys both in at 7 a.m.
No, I remember that's
Mine's
right.
the
Evans is
afternoon.
wait for the invitation because I remember
maybe
reading
yours
that.
is
I'm
close
like
to
2
that
or
time.
3 p.m.
Oh, really? I'll
Like,
see if that changes.
in
I'm
between
curious.
12 and 3, I think.
Okay, this is a question I think is really sweet though. I do
12:30
want to
maybe.
do this question. What is like someone, Justin, I came up with this one, you guys. You're welcome. What is a strength that like a person in the group doesn't recognize about themselves? It's also kind of tricky because you don't know if someone recognized it about themselves or not, but I still like that one.
Are we answering this for ourselves or answering this for
No,
the other
if
person?
it was a strength you didn't recognize about yourself, then you wouldn't be able to recognize
That's what I was.
it.
Okay, sorry. For a second, I was like, what?
Oh,
No.
dumb. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, and that says in your, it says in your chart. Don't be mean.
We came up with this question, but the don't recognize adds the tough layer
Right? I know.
that someone doesn't recognize.
Mine is, I think you are more resilient than you realize.
Whoa.
Gray, I'm gonna cry.
She's gonna leave me for you right now if you say that again. That was beautiful.
Explain.
Well, like what we were talking about earlier with the social, with the stuff we were talking, like social media handling, like the crowd stuff is like you've gone through it a bunch of times. And I feel like anyone who's gone through it once would just be like, anything it takes to avoid that ever happening ever again is like, that's like pretty reasonable for anyone to anticipate, or I mean to expect, as like that's the reaction, but you kept putting yourself back into it and just dealing with it each time.
Amen.
Like knowing that you're going to incur it again.
Yeah, and you weren't afraid to like keep going, even though that was a possibility that could happen again. Like that's pretty brave.
Yeah.
Thanks. That means a lot.
I mean, like you can handle that. Even if it feels like you can't handle it, you have proven it to yourself time and time again that you actually can handle it. I don't know if you realize that.
That was beautiful.
I'm gonna go cry. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Response back to Grayston.
I'll
And I'm
accept the
sure
invitation.
here's the thing, I'm sure you know this, but I think a lot of like you joke a lot on the podcast about like, like the boarding school joke. You know this about yourself, but you're an amazing dad. Like when I saw you with Ember a couple weeks ago, like she was like locked into him with like a grown up like I've never seen, because you literally, and you know, not to stereotype, but like most guys aren't going to come into the house and like sit and like be with like a little small person and like ask questions and conversations. And like you came in and you sat with her right away, and it was just like, oh my God, like show me this. And you were so excited and like imagining with her right away and like meeting her right there. And she was like so locked in. She was talking about it for like the next week. It was like, is Grayston gonna be here? And you know, and I, you know, I'm obviously not there in the house every day, but I can just by seeing you with like my kid be like, damn, you're a really fucking good parent.
He's just I think he's at his happiest when he's like around kids. I always just say like, I don't see like any kind of like any trace of like depression or anxiety when he's just like playing with the kids and chasing them around. And it's so sweet because he's just a big kid himself.
Yeah.
Can I add a little funny anecdote or a situation that happened today?
Oh my gosh, this is so cute. I know what he's going to say.
Bro, this is insane. Ember goes, you guys, we're going to be doing some podcasting tonight while you're sleeping. And she goes, oh, what, just you two? No. Becca and Grayson are coming over. She goes, Grayson's coming over? And I go, yeah. She goes, oh, I'm going to comb my hair really, really nice. And I go, what? And she goes, I like combing my hair. And I was like, and she's like, I'm like, what? And she's like, Grayson's coming over, right?
She's like, as her brush, she's just
and
like,
she literally,
Grayson's gonna be
and
here,
she
right?
literally like was like, I'm gonna, and she put her gloves on too. And she literally was like, I want to impress him.
She put on all her necklaces.
She put all her necklaces.
She was switching them. She's like, do we like this one? No. And she was like,
and I kind of called her out for it. You know, I was like, are you doing that for Grayson? And she goes, no, I just love combing my hair.
Like looking good and being presentable and, you know, impressed.
At 9 p.m. I just love that.
Literally, I feel so, right when I walked in, she's like, it's my birthday.
Oh,
and
dude.
I'd be like, dude, I should have known. I should have had a card. I should have had
I've never seen her do that where she was like, her hair was ratted from jumping on a thing all day. And she goes, oh, Grayson's coming over? Is Grayson coming over? And I was like, yeah. She goes, oh. And she's just literally
she's just brushing.
It was like, I gotta get right.
Okay, so I got her.
It was so cute, dude.
I told her she wasn't gonna like her presents is because I'm the auntie, of course, and it's like, I'm getting you books for your birthday.
I'm getting you a hard lesson in life.
You got
I'm getting you a bond. I'm getting you a savings bond.
I donated charity on your behalf.
That's what my mom used to do for Christmas.
Her mom bought me a Bible for my birthday.
And that was so sweet.
Oh.
It was sweet. Knowing for your mom, it's
It was
really
sweet.
sweet.
It's like,
And
she's like,
I
you're
felt
so
so
close.
bad before because I was such like a bitch. I was like, Gray already has.
Gray's trying not to get triggered.
I was already like, no, I was like, Gray has like, I was like, Mom, Gray has like 4 Bibles. I actually want to cry because I was so mean about it. I was like, Gray already has like 4 Bibles. And she was like, oh, he does? Isn't that so sad? I could actually cry thinking about it.
No.
Because it was before she even gave it to him. So she was like, oh, he already
It's my
has
favorite
them.
Bible.
That's so sad.
It's your favorite of the institutionalized religion Bibles?
No, actually, the best Bible you have is like the legit,
The Masonic one?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm such
I have
a
like
bitch.
an illuminated Masonic Bible.
Whoa, that's cool.
It's like this thick, like this
It's got a bunch
big.
of illustrations in it.
It's fucking cool.
Illuminated?
And
Do you mean illustrated?
No, there's
No, it glows, filled with the Holy
no
Spirit.
illuminated.
Plug it in. It's beautiful.
God, guys, illuminated manuscript is like done in like the Gregorian calligraphy style.
Oh, okay.
So the title pages for each like section, so like the title page for Genesis starts as like an illuminated page. So it's like those crazy calligraphy pages that the monks were doing.
Oh,
There's the easy breezy genius blowing in again.
But
Where
so
you
then,
plug it in.
and then each section also has like its own leaflet, so you can just like go to like each, you know, if I want to go to Deuteronomy, you're like, oh, here we go.
Totally.
Yeah.
I like that.
You know what?
just
I just sorry. No. It wasn't what you were saying that made me laugh. It was recreating this idea of like, where do you plug it in, and like just trying to figure out how you make it illuminated. It made me laugh. It was very childish. I apologize.
Yeah, when you don't understand the world,
I
it
don't,
must
I
be
don't.
childish. Okay.
My God, when you're not an easy breezy genius.
Sorry, I didn't study in the woods. Okay,
I offered it. I really don't want to have to rescind my offer of whenever you need an expert for anything, you can call me. But if this is the way that you're going to like this is the attitude when I'm trying to like gift you understanding.
My favorite though was when you were describing an illuminated. You go, God, you guys, an illuminated manuscript. You kind of throw out like, you fucking idiots. Anyway, let me bestow upon you.
Did you mean illustrations? No, I didn't.
I didn't say.
I meant illuminate.
Okay.
I said illuminated for a reason.
Dumb it down, child.
You know what's funny is Ruth does. She's kind of like that, like Grace sometimes, where she goes, I put it there for a reason. That's what she started saying, like, for a reason.
Oh,
like,
wow.
no, I left it there for a reason.
It's like, don't please.
You idiot.
You're really messing with this.
I did. Okay.
I'll
do.
Oh, I was gonna do a double.
Okay.
Again, I feel like this is obvious.
Okay.
Like great being a great dad.
Well,
you are like when I think about Becca, I go life giver.
Oh, that's sweet.
Like you're God. You breathe. You breathe life into everything.
Oh, thank you.
So it's like even when you walk in like to the house before the podcast starts, like, you know, Evan and I'll be like just kind of chilling, whatever. And the second Becca walks in, it's like everything lights up. Like, it's just like, we're here, it's movement, like life is electric. And I feel like you're like that with every part of your life.
Oh, thank you.
You know, and then that's why it's like when you start new ventures, I think people care about things that they'd be like, oh, whatever, because like there's this like electric life that like just is pulsating. That's what drew me to you, like from the very beginning, where it was like, it's just this like,
thank you,
makes life exciting.
That's so sweet. I was gonna do Evan.
Do Evan.
I have.
She's like, I was gonna.
I know, that's what I was gonna say.
No,
she's
Evan's,
like, now I'm so caught up hearing this about myself that I can't actually spend time on you.
I was gonna do Evan, but I think we should all talk about this.
I need to just really process the compliments about me.
Do you guys feel that? Do you guys feel that I'm a life giver as
Right
well?
around the corner. Can I get everything? What do you guys think about me?
Let's go around the room.
Can I tell you something? One time I remember my dad on like my 8th or 9th birthday, my dad was like, I had a ton of my little friends, like 15 friends over. And I was like 8. My dad's like, why don't you guys all go around the room and say what you love most about Becca? And I just remember being like, this is the best gift I could ever be given.
Oh,
I was just like, God, thank you, Father. In my head, I was just like, yes.
This is it.
Finally, you people see the light.
I don't care about any of this crap. Validate
Bow to me.
Please.
Get on your knees. You're just
face is all red, shaking, quivering. Okay, no.
Holy shit, that's funny.
Mine for Evan actually was like, it was funny because I was thinking about this beforehand. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna pick. Jesse had to do a 2-for-1. I was like, I'm just gonna pick one person. I was like, I'll pick Evan. And it's funny because then you were bringing it up. You were talking about Jess, and you're like, Jess is so empathetic, whatever.
Yeah.
I think that what you don't realize is how much you care about people and how much you notice what's going on in people. Because you're like, you really do like lock in and like pay attention when you're in front of somebody because you are desiring a connection. So, you know, when like someone like my dad is like, walks up, turns
Can we not go
around,
here because we got in trouble last time for this? So I'd rather prefer not to go down this road because apparently I don't want to hurt anybody. You know what I mean?
My mom was just defending him,
Okay.
you know, as wives do for their husbands. Stand by your man. Mom was like, who's that guy? The weird guy in the shorts?
He was great. I had an amazing connection with him. I appreciate everything he said or didn't say. It was more about what he didn't say. I love.
But no, like my point is that
I felt.
I should not have derailed that. No. Okay, stop. No, but you really do like lock in with someone and connect with them and are like, oh, like I want to know about what's going on with you. Like, and you really do care. And I feel like you actually really do pick up on like what other people are going through way more than you realize. And I don't think you give yourself enough credit about, that you really do like feel other people's energy and respond to it and are very sensitive to like other people's needs around you. So that's what I think is something.
That. Yeah, no, that's definitely something. That's definitely something I'm coming to feel a little bit more of, which is like I'm a lot more sensitive than like I let myself think I am, and like, you know what I mean? Like I'm a lot more, you know.
Don't cut him off.
Sorry.
Mine to you is, I would say, like, I feel a little bit, you know, we seem similar in a lot of ways, not every way, but in a lot of ways. And something that like, when I look at you, I think about is the fact that like, your ability to generate things is not your value. Like when I talk to you, like when we're sitting in the front room and talking, I'm not getting the like business person, you know, go-getter, like, you know, smart, like here's all of my ideas for this and here's how I'm going to market this, whatever. I feel like you are not the things you make. You know what I mean? Like, to kind of piggyback a little bit off of Jess, it's like your ability to just be like hanging out and making people feel excited about life and making people feel like there is something to, I don't know, like there's inspiration, but not to like build. It's like to just be alive. You know what I mean?
To get excited about something.
Yeah, get excited about something. And I think that I feel like you have like, we have a similar thing with like a real identity in like what we make. And I think that is not what makes you. And so like as a fellow
generator,
what we generate is what we are. It's like, I do look at you and I go like, that's not who you are. And I think that like what you are is deeper than what you generate. You know what I mean?
Cool.
And there's a lot of like positive energy and a lot of like fun and a lot of excitement. And we have these conversations and we sit here and you know what I mean? And so, yeah, I just think that you seem like someone who doesn't give yourself space to just be in that, you know, to know that like remember even in the podcast you were talking about how like the idea of watching a show in the middle of the day gives me anxiety and all that stuff. It's just like you don't give yourself a lot of that time just to be.
No, definitely.
You know?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I don't know. There's like a lot of good energy that's there that I feel like you don't let yourself experience.
Like I don't have to like try so much to like pull out things.
Right. It's like,
even if not for financial gain, but it's like I don't have to always be like producing. You know, I like that. Thank you.
That your next venture is not going to make you more valuable as a human being. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Or like fill my life more, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm always like,
it's like you're enough just when we hang out in the front room and talk. Like that's enough.
But I'm not enough for me.
Yeah, right.
No, but okay, actually I would really like if everyone could go around the room and say something that they're like proud of for cultivating in the last few years, like of themselves.
Ugh.
Come on.
Oh my God.
No.
Now
we're at hour 3.
I'm serious. And don't start, because when anyone's resistant to this and is like, oh, cringe, it's a moment to be proud of yourself for like where you've come from. So like soak in that moment, because how often do you get to say to like, you know, 100,000 people and to your close friends, like, man, I'm really proud of myself for like, you know, shifting or changing.
First off,
in this way.
I don't know about the broads, but the bros is a lot more than 100,000. This is. I thought you said they had like a
billion. I think it's a billion now.
Okay, when you're speaking, how often do you get the chance to speak to a billion people? You know,
you get to speak to more people once a week. Watch the Super Bowl. How do you speak your mind?
Once a week, we get to do that.
A billion.
When you're talking about a trillion, we're talking about the galaxy. No. You said there was a billion. I thought you said that they were like legit. I thought you said that they were smaller than like what? It's sad.
Okay, what was your point?
Okay, I'll let Jess start.
Something that I've cultivated that I'm proud of.
Well, I don't know, just anything, like not even this year. I guess since the inception of the podcast, it's like what's something where you could say like, wow, I'm so like proud of myself. It could be something in the last year.
Okay.
But the first thing that comes to mind.
I would say, I'll say over the past few years, something that I'm proud of myself is that I am able to do more than I thought I could do. I kind of always would like write myself off in a way that it's like you're super sensitive and you're super emotional and that's what you like, that's who you are and what you offer. And I think the narrative that I was taught growing up was very much like, if you're emotional and sensitive, like it's not productive.
You can't get things done.
You can't get things done because you're always fucking crying or whatever. And I think that honestly, a lot of it I owe so much to like just this podcast is all of a sudden being like, we started something, we didn't know how to do it because neither of us had done it before, and you make so many mistakes. And I think the old me would have hit a bump or a mistake and just given up. And I think it's kind of like what you were saying, Grayson, which means so much, is like learning that resilience, where it's like, oh, old me would have been like, oh, I can't figure out how to do this, like even just like production wise or editing wise, and it'd be like, fuck it,
dude, me too.
And you're just like, we just kept going. And I'm like, oh my God.
Because we didn't like want to disappoint each other.
I think
like
that was a lot of what it was
part
too.
of it. And I'll take it. Because like, yeah, if I had been doing something like on my own or like with a partner that honestly, maybe someone I knew better to start out with.
True. Like, like a best old friend where you're like, I guess I'm just gonna,
I don't want to do this anymore.
Like,
this is like, this
done.
just takes a lot of time and I'm just kind of like over it.
Yeah.
But I just kind of have kept looking back over the last 4 years and being like, actually, I haven't thought about it like a lot lately because we did just get into the rhythm where it just became like a part of life, like in a way that not a lot of other things. I've never stuck with a job so long.
Well, that's no, but honestly, I was thinking about, I'm like, oh, with like Christmas coming up, I was like, oh, I'm not going to be recapping The Bachelor over Christmas. Like, we're not going to be cranking out an episode and an edit on Christmas Eve like we've done for the past few years. And I'm like, old me would have been like, no, I'm not doing that. No, like I don't have it in me. It's too much. The busyness, whatever. But we did it and we stepped into it and we just like crushed it. And I'm really like, I'm so proud of that. Where you're just like, oh my God, you got up and you did it.
Yeah.
And I think me before the podcast would have just been like, nah.
Yeah.
I'm too tired. I'm too emotionally drained.
You know what's funny is like,
whatever.
I didn't know that about you either. And I guess just insight for the listeners, like I feel like you've been nothing but like a go-getter through the whole experience. Like
Thanks.
Jess is always like on top of the ads, on top of the onboarding calls, like on top of like all of this behind the scenes stuff. And from the jump, without any reason to make me believe that wasn't just like your personality. And I don't know. I think that's just a testament to you because I just didn't even have I wouldn't like, actually that's the first time me hearing you say that. And I was like, oh really? Like I just thought that's kind of like, that's how you did things.
No, and I think it's going on.
No. Like the biggest, I just want to like chime in real quick was like watching Jess's transformation in the last, since you guys started the podcast, has been like insane. Like she went from not being that person at all to being like, just jumped right in and just like made it happen.
And we got to do this.
And
so
we just got to
do it.
And it's like, boom, planning this, that, behind the scenes, everything. And it's just like, holy shit, like what just happened? Like there was no like slow grind. It was just like jumped into it, killed it. It was amazing to watch.
I think so. And like, but what Becca was saying too, it's like, I think so much of that was like, okay, she said yes to doing this.
Right.
Like Becca said yes to doing it. And so I'm like, okay, we're going to do this. And then I remember after recording the first episode, I was like, this went really well. And then I was really excited. And then you are such a hard worker and you're like balancing like a million different things. And I'm like, I think I'm going to try to do that too. And I could do it.
I also
You know
never
what I
got
mean?
told I was a hard worker. I always got told I was lazy growing up. So I always
No, you juggle
said
like
that,
100 things at once. And so it was just like seeing then you're like, I'm like, okay, so she has 20 projects. And so I'm like, okay, this is my project. Like I can do it. And I did it.
So
and
well.
It's like echoing
so
Gray's
well,
point
too.
too, which is like Gray was saying earlier. He was like, you're capable of a lot more than you think you are. And it's like, in regards to the social media thing or like the struggles of that, you were saying like, you're stronger than you think you are.
You've already been doing it.
And the same goes with your ability to step up.
You've proven
and
it. You've done it
handle
for
things.
4 years now.
You know, you never. If I would have said this is what you're doing before all this happened, you would have been like, no way. You know,
You might have been like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
oh, there's no way. If you would have known what it take, if you would have known what it took, there's no way. But like, you know, you just stepped in.
That's my like
that's the
biggest like
podcaster
business
circle.
advice thing is like, don't find out what it takes.
Until find out what's included in what you're signing up for.
Don't think about don't actually
Don't
do
do any
research on like what you're actually going to get into, because anyone
Don't
who
learn
knows
about it
it
at all.
isn't going to want to do it, and then
Right.
we would just not have anything. So you have to
Right.
you just gotta I don't
But
know.
yeah,
It's like
I
there's
I just think it's beautiful.
Thank you.
You know what's funny is I'll piggyback on yours because it's like I think that I have that same feeling with the podcast for myself, and like also this year in particular, like I don't know if it's my brain spotting therapy or like actually I had this like epiphany driving in the car today or yesterday where I was like, oh, like the more this sounds very dramatic, but it's like the more grief I release, like the more patience I have for myself. And like the more I've given myself space to like feel feelings that like I wasn't letting myself have or was told that I didn't have, like the more I have more time to like be with myself and be patient. Cause like before, like I just remember being in high school and like having a boyfriend trying to like teach me something on the piano. And I would literally be like, nah, if I didn't get it in like 30 seconds, I'd be like about to flip the piano over and I'd be crying. And I'd just be like, I can't, like, And like this year in particular, something has unlocked for me where I'm like, oh no, like, I don't know. I just feel like my dreams are coming true because suddenly like I can, even just stupid little like crafts, like I can start them and I can finish them and like see something through to the finish line. And so that's been a theme this year that's just been like blowing my mind and has been making me so happy. And really like the podcast symbolizes that so much, I think, for me, is like seeing something through to its completion.
Well, when we started, I'll never forget you telling me over and over, you were like, just FYI, like, I don't know how long this is going to be.
Yeah.
Because you were like,
I was scared.
You were like, I might, like, it's just too much. I might dip. Like, it's a lot. Like, I have so many other things going on. I've got the kids, all this. And
I was scared to commit to seeing something through to completion.
But you also had told me, you're like, I feel like I like, sometimes I won't do this. Like, and I'm like, you showed up every week, numerous times a week. We were showing up to your house with equipment and you're breastfeeding and you're recording.
It's never
for
been
4 years.
It's never been like the barriers of like what's going on, giving birth, whatever. The barrier was like always in myself of like, I don't know if I have what it takes to like see it through to completion. Like, I don't think I have that in me. And this podcast, I can really say is like the first huge thing that like I've seen through to completion. And now I've seen it unfolding in smaller parts of my life. And that makes me really happy. So thank you for giving me that opportunity.
Thank you.
Okay, boys.
Cry.
What'd you learn, Evan?
No, what are you proud of?
What are you proud of, Evan?
What was the question exactly again?
I think I said like, what is something you're proud of? Like something you've developed in yourself for the last few years or learned about yourself. It could be recent, but like,
Is it like physical or is it also mental? Or
it's only how much money you've made over the last 4 years.
Okay.
No, it's like anything about yourself that you feel like the first thing that comes in your head where you're like, oh, I'm really proud of myself for that.
That's hard for me. Like, just even that question is really difficult for me. So, like, that's something that, like, it's been a journey. It's like, even just talking about that is like, I don't even know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? Like, I have to really dig to like feel that.
I despise these questions. Just so you know.
Right. No, I think it's good though. I think it's like picking at stuff. I would say this. I would say that I've allowed myself to like I've allowed myself to explore things that I normally would not have allowed myself to explore for no other gain than just like self-love, which is like a very foreign concept to me. So like up until this, like I did a lot this year that like I'm really proud of professionally, or like I did cool stuff for like music stuff, or like got to make cool shows and all that stuff. It's like, that was cool. But I will say this is like the first year of my life, my whole life, that I've ever like sought to like get to know myself. You know what I mean? Like up until this point, like I felt like, this sounds very like dramatic, but like very much a stranger to myself. And like I wouldn't allow myself to even ask myself, what do I like? Or who am I? Or I don't know, any of those questions. So just starting the journey of like, who are you? You know what I mean? Like, do you love yourself? What do you like about yourself? Like those questions I started asking myself, which is like even hard for me to talk about now. It's like, feels very weird. And so it's like just starting that process, you know, of like, who's home, you know? But like that was a first for me. So it starts to diminish the professional things a little bit for me right now, where it's like they feel smaller to like the things that like are
the important,
so much more heavy, you know? So yeah, like professional things that were happening this year were cool, but like it's more of just like the asking the question, like, who are you? Are you there? Who's home? What do you like about yourself? Just like those questions. I'm proud of asking myself the question, like, hey, who are you? Do you love yourself at all? You know, like those simple questions, like that's huge for me just to even ask the question.
Do you ever think about like how much better you'll know yourself when you're like, do you ever think about that? Like, oh, when I'm 60, like how much better, like, do you ever think about that? How much better will I know myself?
Yeah, I started to. It's torn. I'm scared. I'm scared of it because it's just like I've built so many things to like structure and to like survive that I think like it scares me, because the little bit that I've broken down this year is like, you know, it's like, oh shit,
It's a lot.
there's a lot, you know? So I think it's like, I try not to think about that.
It's like
That
when we
gets
talk
me-
about ayahuasca and you're like, I don't think I need
honestly,
that. Yeah.
because there's like, it's just too much.
I don't think I
Yeah,
need
yeah,
to
it's too scary.
face my...
No, I don't need to like melt my brain and like blow it out of my nose right now. Like I'm just trying to like,
I don't need to see my inner God.
no. I'm not, let's save that for 75 years old. You know what I mean? So like, I think for me, it's just like, it's just like asking the question, like, who's home? Are you there? Hey, you know, like simple questions. It's a child shit. It really is like baby stuff.
I think that's very brave. I think people go through their whole life being too afraid to go there with themselves.
So yeah, that's it.
No, you definitely have been. And I feel like it's the first time, honestly, this year that Evan's been able to, like, if he has a lull in work at all, because that's just how the industry is sometimes, that for the first time ever, he can be home and simply just enjoy himself being home and not be feeling anxious about like, oh my God, what's booked next? We got to make sure that there's something coming down the pike. Like, you've just been like existing, and like that's huge.
Yeah. Game
Huge
changer.
for you. Yeah.
Your turn, King.
I was hoping you'd forget. All right.
Sorry, I went real deep, and I apologize for setting you up. Like, you don't have to go that deep.
We'll save the best for last.
What is it? The quiet genius, the chill genius.
No, the
Easy breezy
Easy
genius.
breezy genius. That's a great like.
Easy
That
breezy.
really is a really
Honestly,
good descriptor.
easy breezy cover girl genius king.
Well, I think the stuff that I've given into is like, not everything needs to be perfect. You know, especially like entering in the world where like we're constantly releasing things, or like we're constantly trying to do something and present something and like get people to basically like buy into this, like whether it's, you know, like my gym or like the nonprofit stuff that we're trying to get people excited on. It's like, it's so easy to get overly caught up in like not presenting something or like just not putting something out into the world because you fear like it's not perfect. Whereas like, it's become more and more clear is like the real strength is just like put anything out there. Put anything out there because it wasn't out there before.
Or put yourself out there.
But like the willingness to fail or like make mistakes attitude. And then like be willing to learn from mistakes to hone it in. And trust that process as opposed to just like waiting for it to feel like it's ready, like you're ready or the thing that you're making is ready. You know, it's not quite the same as like fake it till you make it, but it's like I've been lucky to have like some people loosely mentor me or just like lead by example who are doing things where I look at them like, wow, like how did they do this? How do they do this? And the more time I spend with them, I'm like, they're just doing shit. They're not thinking twice about it. They're just doing it and they're not caring. And because they operate that way, for every one thing I've done, they've done 15.
It's like, don't be too precious.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to harp on them, but like the one person who's been really inspirational for me is Kyle from Brain Dead. Cause that company is doing so many things. It's like hard to even keep track of. And part of it is his attitude where he's just like, hey, like if you're excited about it, you want to take the lead on it, go for it. And he's like, you can take basically he's like, yeah, I think that's cool. Here you go. And whatever, like he may be thinking about it, it's more so he's like, no, like we'll just say yes to this and see how it is. And if it doesn't work out, cool. And if it works out, like even better. And if it doesn't work out, it's still fine because we just ended up doing something. And like,
so you feel like
it's like super powerful. I've been trying to operate more and more in that space of being like, I have like, we joke about like me being like, oh, I have ideas. Right. Most of them I'm like, oh, I'm going to do this. And then like, I just shelve it because I'm like, I don't know if that's actually cool or whatever. And I think part of it is like not caring that something is like perfect, but also I think having more confidence in like my own opinion on something of like, again, Kyle talked to me one time because I was like, why do you think like, he made like streetwear paintball gear and does like Warhammer and like Magic the Gathering collaborations with their thing. And it's like, dude, that's like, no one wants to touch that stuff. And he was just like, well, I think it's cool. He's like, if I think it's cool, like someone else probably does too. So like, I don't care. And I was just like, damn, dude, like, because we came from such a childhood of like a lot of the things you thought were cool, you got ostracized about if you like said that you actually thought this or like put your opinion out there. And then here's someone who's like giving absolutely zero fucks of your opinion because he's like so invested in his own opinion or has enough stock in his own opinion that he's like, no, like I know that what I like is what I like. And that's validation enough.
Can I kind of also boil it down to what I've seen like in you personally? Because you're like talking about, I think the business has obviously been hugely instrumental, but what I think is like the more like essence of that is like what I've seen you learn is like you trusting yourself that like you're starting to learn that you're like good enough and like worthy enough to like just that. Like you're good enough, like you're worthy enough.
One person I've been working with, Noah, was we were talking about like a pitch on something. And I was like, well, I don't think I could pitch this without having like such and such, like without these brands attached to it. And he was like, no, like you're pretty fucking convincing. And he's like, I think if you just go with them with the idea, you'll probably get it. And that was like pretty interesting to me because he's like works with big companies as a photographer. But to hear him be like, no, like you don't need any other brands attached to it. Like you could just go in that room and they'll attach
well, that's
themselves.
The thing I'm getting at is
that
like,
is wild.
That's the thing I'm getting at is like companies and like all that, whatever money making things aside, like I think you're starting to learn like, no, I graced and have like something to offer. And like, that's always been something and what's really actually been cool about Chatty Bros is like when you guys first did like the first few episodes, like I would read people's comments. You know, one time there's like an assault on Grayson. People are just like, he's an asshole because he said like Evan said something beautiful about Jess and Grace said his favorite thing about Becca. I was like, whatever. Like, you know, he's a horrible person, you know? And I was like, so like, oh, it's actually been like so cool over the course of Chatty Bros to like, it's been cool to just watch people get to know Gray too and be like, Gray, like ride or die Gray, and like people get to see more of who he is because, you know, even with his own friends, I always tell Gray, I get so pissed off like when people write you off and like, because, you know, Gray talks a lot, he goes off on his tangents, he's like, you know, sometimes you're eccentric,
but that's one of the most magical things about
well,
you.
and that's the thing though, but people will be like, oh, there goes Gray again, like ranting about this, but I'm like, I've always been frustrated where I'm like, no, but like, but you like listen to him because he like, you know, he has something to say. And I think that you're learning that you do have something to say. So that's why I thought it would be a good time to announce that Gray's starting his own podcast, The Gray Show.
Solo podcast.
It's called The Gray Sphere.
It's time for me to soar.
It's called The Gray Area.
It's called The Gray Area.
That's what Gray and I were talking about the difference between your guys' episode and our episode.
Yeah, Jess is telling me this.
Is that you two answered like
we hit like every song.
We're just like effective. Sounds good. Yes, effective.
You
Next.
guys answered 45 topics.
3.
Grayson and I answered 2.5 questions. We talked for
That reminds me, I knew this guy.
But we talked.
And he read a book once, written by a guy who knew another guy.
There was no dead point.
No, there was no pause. But we were talking about 5 million things and answered about 2 questions.
And I were doing the debates and I'd be like, I think this, and Ed would be like, and I think this, and I'd be like, I agree, and then we'd be
Next.
like, all right, next question.
Meanwhile, they're like, what are your thoughts on the moon? Oh, gray. I do love the color gray. You know, it has been said it's been made of cheese.
We said that we were meandering through the garden of conversation.
That's beautiful.
When we're doing
nice.
ours, I'll see Evan looking at his notes from like the podcast, and we're just like steamrolling right over those. We're just talking about like anything other than whatever the topic is.
And a college story.
Yeah. And we'll get a high school or a college story.
I did know a guy.
I did know a guy.
Oh my God, you guys.
I've known lots of guys.
Let's go to bed. You guys have got
shit.
Ember's birthday tomorrow.
Oh
you guys
my
have to be
God.
all over the
3
place.
locations tomorrow.
Yes, we do. Oh my
Becca,
gosh.
don't say you're the one who added extra questions.
I know. I'm sorry. I
No,
had
it
to
was
do
beautiful.
it.
Look, no, Becca came in and she had
Sorry,
the
guys.
emotional, beautiful
Yeah.
questions that we love.
Yeah.
Guys.
Wow.
Well, you know what the great thing is that this doesn't have to be our last date night because we can also hang out without microphones in front of our faces. However, it is good scheduling
That's
excuse.
true.
No, this is our relationship. It's really nice meeting you.
Been nice.
I'll just try to optimize it anytime the four of
Get
us.
divorced, dude.
Is this the
Really
last?
great meeting you all.
Is this the last episode? Is
No,
that
we
how
have
it's
one
gonna
more
go
bros
out?
and one more broad.
This is the last date.
Okay,
No,
this
we
is
got
going to
2
be
more.
the capstone one.
okay,
though.
yeah. Well,
We've got
yeah,
2
we got
more
a recap.
recaps. We have
each have a recap to do.
and then both of our final
And
episodes.
we
But this is the last, definitely the
This is
last
last date night.
date night.
And honestly, when we try to hang out again at another point with a date night, I will just have my recording on my phone and just
I'll
be
put
like,
clips of this in.
Patreon content.
Well,
I'll bring us mics with no cables, just so we feel at home.
I have to say, like, I was like feeling so tired this afternoon. I was like, dude, I want to cancel. Like,
She was
but
like,
I was
I
like,
feel sick.
I was like, I don't feel good. Yeah.
I literally was telling Evan when we were like driving home with Ember, I was like, Evan, I have no energy
Dude.
at all. But that is the beauty of the date night. I think every time the 4 of us get together, all of us have been tired.
I was
and
like,
it's
we're
always
gonna
late
wrap it by
night.
9:30. Like literally in my head, I was like, don't worry, we'll get home early and get some sleep.
Every time we light up with each
I
other.
know.
What's our wrap? Because it is almost 11,
Okay.
and we have big days.
Okay.
Are you making us come up with a rap?
We're gonna wrap it.
He's saying
Statement?
like, what's our end of the pod? To this, sorry, not to the pod, but to this pod.
Like, are we gonna do like a Knights of the Round Table type like chant?
Like a cheers or a chant?
I don't know. You guys were just saying, let's wrap up the episode and then we'll do those
Do you guys
things.
know what we've been doing with the kids when they do something like go pee in the potty or something? We go, hip, hip. We go 3 cheers. Hip, hip,
hooray!
hip, hip. And it's so cute watching
I
the
love
kids
it.
do
I
that.
think that that's maybe how we end our final
That's so sad. I'm going to have tears streaming down my face as I say hip, hip, hooray!
date night episode.
Cheers to the date night.
All right.
I don't have
Date
anything
night.
in my cup. Don't cheers.
Just
with water,
raise
it's
it.
bad.
That's okay. We're not going to actually clink them.
There's a little bit.
All right, on 3.
Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray!
Chat soon, broads. We love you.
Chat soon.